All right, what's going on, everybody? Oh, look, we see the lights like kind of sneaking in there in the corner of the room. Nothing we can do about it now. Nothing we can do about it. Welcome back. We got a little live before lock coming at you. We got another one. Our guy, Worldwide Rob Perez, is going to be joining us a little bit later in the show. If this is your first time here, if you're watching over on Twitter, do me a favor. Drop the link right below in the next tweet. Come over on YouTube. That'll give you a shot at some of those sweet giveaways. What we're going to be doing tonight, going over some of the projections, the injury news, the slate for Sorare NBA. We're still waiting on quite a few injury things. Look at that salt and pepper beard. Yeah. All right, Sean. I know you're trying to give me a compliment, Sean. Hurting my feelings a little bit, but no, you're right. You're right. There's nothing we can do. Aging is a graceful and natural process. If you are in the YouTube streams, we're going to be giving away some rare tier cards over here. And all you got to do to qualify, you need to like the stream. You need to subscribe to the channel. And you got to put hashtag Embiid into the chat. Hashtag Embiid into the chat. Joel Embiid not playing this weekend, yelling at the fans a little bit. Not the media, excuse me. Tershi was saying, what does your shirt say? Listen, guys, Al Horford has been ruled out for the Boston Celtics. So what night is it? Luke Cornett night. It is Luke Cornett night. That's right. Locked and loaded for Lukey K, baby. Lukey K. But yeah, put like the stream, subscribe to the channel, hashtag Embiid into the chat to qualify for the little rare tier action. We'll be giving that away a little bit later in the show. Also going to be giving away another rare tier card from our value hunting episode that we had. But more importantly, guys, listen, it's Friday. It's Friday. It is now officially happy hour time. Cheers to anyone who's sipping on anything. Today, we're brought to you by Focal Banger. We got a Focal Banger, the Alchemist in Vermont. There we go. What a freaking can, too, huh? What a can. Is that a sponsorship? No. Should it be? Yes. It should be. It should be. All right, let's go over to the worldwide leader. We're going to just go check out. Actually, you know what? Before we check out ESPN and look at the games for this weekend, let's do a quick injury check here. Some more news just dropped. The big one we're waiting for is Karl Anthony Towns, the cat man, the bodega cat. Still got a Q tag tonight against the Detroit Pistons. Shout out our guy, Matty Harrison. Joel Embiid yelling some stuff earlier. It sounds like no Paul George this weekend either. He's been already ruled out. The Pelicans, man. Pelicans down so bad. They are without CJ McCollum for 2 to 4 weeks, Herb Jones for 2 to 4 weeks. They're also without DeJounte Murray because he broke that sweet hand of his. Oh, my God. They're going to be running around, running Jordan Hawkins a ton, although he's got a questionable. It might be our guy Jose Alvarado time. It's going to be some weird stuff for the Pellies. D'Lo looks like he's going to play, but there it is. We're still waiting on Karl Anthony Towns. Zach LaVine's got a Q tag as well. So many freaking Q tags tonight. Brandon Miller, is he going to make his return after hurting his booty? Little glute. Miles Turner's got a Q tag. Andrew Nembhard's got a Q tag. Patty Will for the Bulls. Jordan Hawkins, I mentioned. Daniel Tice. Yves Missy as well. And then Anthony Davis and Aaron Gordon are probable. And then IQ Emmanuel Quickly is doubtful. So some tough injury stuff. We need to get IQ back in Adam. All right. I want the Toronto Raptors to be watchable. Okay. I don't want to have to talk us into Mogbo. All right. No disrespect to our Toronto fans here, but I do not want to, I don't want to be messing around with Mogbo. I want to see RJ. I want to see IQ, and I want to see that big old Grady dick. Okay. That's what we're looking for. I want to plug something here too before we like really dive in. I want to make sure I have this up here so I can share it for real. We have a VIP program, little membership action. There's 67 of you so far. I'm dropping a link in the chat. Should be in the show notes as well. We do a daily show Monday through Friday, breaking down some daily ranks, whether it's so rare or whether it's over on Underdog or other fantasy basketball outlets. You get all this content before everybody else does. And then we also do, right after this show, you can see it's coming up next. We've got a live after dark. All right, little live after dark where we hang out after the slate ends for a little bit, give away some more stuff to you. All right, enough of that. Go sign up. I would like, if we get over 100, I'll give away another rare tier card. We're at like 70 right now. Let's get over 100. We can do it. Don't sleep on Jamal Cain. That is the type of slate we're at right now. We got to get this chair right. That's the type of slate we're at right now, as we're saying stuff like don't sleep on Jamal Cain. Well, Special K, I am napping. Sammy Hauser's been cleared to play. It is erotic. It is erotic, AG. It is. All right, let's go dive into what kind of games we got going on this weekend. Again, if you're watching us over on the Twitterverse or X, also erotic, come on over to YouTube, please, and thank you, because that's where the sweet cash is earned. All right, so tonight we've got the Celtics and the Charlottes with an over-under set at 232.5. We got Orlando Magic City against the Cleveland Cavs. We got the Bing Bong Boys against Detroit. We got Sacktown against Atlanta. There's going to be a ton of points there. We got Chi-Town and the Brooklyn Nets. That's a game I probably will not watch. We've got the Lake Show against Toronto. This is Evergreen right here, Crypto Gem founder. We've got Indiana against Nolans, Denver against Minnesota. Very excited to watch that game. And then OKC against Portland. So that's our Friday night action. But again, this is on Sorare NBA, so we need to take into account all of the weekend games. Saturday, we get Boston and Charlotte again. We get Memphis against the Sixers. Again, the Sixers are going to be without Paul George and company. I believe we also got some more news on the Memphis Grizzlies, too. Desmond Bane, Marcus Smart, and Johnny Conchar have already been ruled out, which means more Ja Morant. It means more LaRavia, Jake LaRavia, all those guys. Sacramento and Toronto. Golden State at Houston. And then we got Cleveland at Milwaukee. That shit show of Milwaukee right now. Minnesota and the San Antonio Spurs. Miami and the Wizards. The Utah Jazz against the Denver Nuggets. So Denver on a little back-to-back. We got Portland and the Phoenix Suns. Bradley Beal is already questionable. And yeah, those Miami, for those that can't see, Miami, Washington, tickets as low as $208. Something's happening here. Morant's so good now. John Morant is so good now. Portland and Phoenix, and then OKC against the Clip Show. And then Sunday, only a 3-game slate on Sunday because apparently the NBA is scared of big NFL. We get Detroit against the Brooklyn Nets, A-Town down against the New Orleans Pelicans, and then the Orlando Magic against the Dallas Mavericks. So that's what we got on Sunday. Our guy Noam in the chat saying, struggling being a Bucks fan right now. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great unless you are an opposing guard. If you're an opposing guard, you love the Bucks because they continue to get lit up by guards for like year 2 now. Year 2, that's what's happening. We're going to be popping around using a couple of different projections today. We've got our friend Top Tier Projections, which you can sign up for. You can check out that sweet, sweet lineup optimizer they have, both for cards you own and for cards you don't own. You can get 10% off if you use promo code. What is the promo code? It is TeamHold10. Let's throw a banner up there. Bang. Find a link to that right in the show notes, too, if you shall choose to do that. Let's go over to Top Tier right now. Let's look at some of the best projecting plays. We'll also use our guy, Momentum Labs, John Boy Beats, John Boy Sheets, Mr. Spread Skeets himself. We'll be looking at that. As always, projections are just that. They are a projection. They are not fact. So don't be like, oh, he was projected to get 55 and he got 48. Like, just shut up. You know what I'm saying? But they are just there to kind of help guide you. So we'll go over some of the best plays, and then we'll get into some of your questions. And then just a reminder, our guy, Rob Perez, is going to be joining us at the top of the hour. All right. This is what I thought was pretty fascinating as we look at the projection. Chet freaking Holmgren, second highest projected guy. Second highest projected guy of the game week. He's got 2 games that helps him out a little bit. Nothing to see here, really, right? Like Luka Jokic, but then Chet 3 overall was pretty wild. I'm going to go out on a limb too. Anthony Davis only has 1 game, so he's not projecting as high. If the Lakers-Raptors game, if you got a little crystal ball on you and you think that game is going to stay close, Anthony Davis should get 1,000,000 points because shout out our guy, Big Dick Nick Richard of the Charlotte Hornets. Went absolutely ham for them. But let's look at some of the best value here. Again, this is top tier projections. You can see all these sweet filters. If you want to use the lineup optimizer, you can do that. But that's behind the paywall, bitches. I'm not giving that for free. And again, a bunch of people watching on Twitter. Come on over to YouTube, baby. All right, Jordan Hawkins. So if Hawkins is playing, I think figuring out the Pelicans is the key to this weekend. Honestly, the next couple of game weeks. If Hawkins is playing, he is just a smash play. Obviously, Jose Alvarado is going to be running around and as well. You know what I'm saying? So these guys are going to be out there. Oh, wait, Sean says, I want to try Hetty Topper someday. I think I might have a pseudo Sue from Toppling Goliath. Dude, Sean is just dropping alpha beers into the chat right there. Had a Hetty Topper earlier this week. This is like their, I don't know if they call it sister beer, brother beer. That's what I got over here. That's what I'm talking about. Anyways, back to New Orleans. Hawkins and Alvarado, 2 of the best plays. The other situation we have to take a look at, you're going to see Jalen Suggs here as a cap of 28 and a projection of 46. Why don't I look up Franz Wagner as well? He's got a cap of 39, projection of 43. One of the worst things that have happened is Paulo Bencaro is out for 4 to 6 weeks with a torn oblique, which sounds like it probably hurts just to poop. Like that sounds like it's going to be super uncomfortable for a very long time. Sucks for the Magic. Because of that, though, guys like Jalen Suggs and Franz Wagner are going to project pretty well. I was actually surprised. Maybe it's because Wagner's cap is already so high that he's not getting like a big old boost. But I really do like Wagner. I think Suggs is pretty solid too. The other situation to monitor is the Utah Jazz. Lauri Markkanen has missed the last missed a game and a half. In his stead, Kyle Filipowski has started. We also saw Jordan Clarkson get dinged up and leave the game. We also know they're without Taylor Hendricks. So if Clarkson's no good, no go. If Lowry is no go, Utah is really starting to get thinned out a little bit. So Keontae George, of course, will pop. Colin, the sex god, Sexton will pop. You can talk yourself into Cody Williams. You can talk yourself into Kyle, the groomed Filipowski, allegedly. We've got Salvern says, you think Black's going to get some minutes? Yeah, Anthony Black should probably earn his minutes. Let's just sort by the Magic. Just kidding. That's not how you do it. We're going to sort like this, and then we're going to say it starts with sorts by team, Orlando. Apply. All right, so you got Anthony Black right here, cap of 9. He projects for 22 whole points. He becomes the second best value play right there. Also, Taylor letting us know no Filipowski, so rare cards. Come on, guys. Wendell Carter Jr. over here. You got Jonathan Isaac up in here. Mo Wagner, Jed Howard. But really, to me, like, yes, KCP's fine. I'm looking at Suggs, Black, and Franz of the Wagner variety. I think those are the 2 best ones. Alberto's saying Gary Harris season, not since 2016. Gary Harris season is over. All right, friends and family, it is over. Yeah, Sean, where are you? Is this Boston, Sean? Where are you out of, Sean? Yeah, it's up in Vermont. I would love to make a trip too. Maybe we do a Elite Fantasy Hoops trip to Vermont. All of us. We'll go to LL Bean, maybe Killington Mountain, hit the slopes. Not those slopes, though. Come on, relax now. Out of Minneapolis, right? That's a lot of trips. All right, that's enough on the Magic. Let me go back to life, back to reality. Let's clear the filters, go back to the value game. See if there's any other names. Cameron Johnson, he's got a couple of games. He projects pretty well. Fast PP, Peyton Pritchard. We should note, Al, let's actually look at the Beantown boys of the Celtics. I promise I'll get to more cues here in a little bit too, but let's go look at the Celtics because they've got 2 games this game week. It is a back-to-back. They've already ruled out Big Al for tonight, which means tomorrow, I would imagine Al Horford's going to play. LL Bean is in Maine. Wow, I'm ruined, dude. We need a mental health check. You can't be saying I lost my New England card. Unreal. I'm sorry this didn't come with a hand job. I just don't think it's included in the airdrops. That's stylistically, that's tough to include that in an airdrop. Stylistically, it is tough to include. It is. Here we go. Some of the Celtics bros. We got Tatum, obviously. Let's do it by value, though. Come on, let's do it by the value. Fast PP, cap of 12, projects for 29. And then there it is, the man of the hour, Luke freaking Cornett, kid. He's got a cap of 8 projection for 22. Sammy Hauser makes his return. Hauser's missed the last couple of games. He's back in action. That's pretty good. Again, all of that you can find on top tier projections. You can also run the optimizer there. It tells you the best plays. Go check that out. Team Hold 10. We're also going to pop over to Momentum Labs, see what they've been cooking up over there as well, because the more projections, the better. You hear that, Sorare data? Take that for data. Why don't we remind people of the giveaway too? So if you haven't done this yet, let's see how many entrants we have into this sweet, sweet girl. We have like the stream, subscribe, hashtag Embiid. I got 185 of you watching, only 77 entrants. So make sure you get your entry in there. Let's go. While that happens, let me go queue up the Momentum Labs. It looks like this was updated not too. Wait, what's today? 3 p.m. Pacific time. Wow, he's in the future because that is not 3 p.m. Pacific time. But maybe he knew we'd all bitch about it, so he lied to us. All right, let's go over there. Let's see who's popping in the Momentum Lab streets. Obviously, if it's your first time here, too, do me a favor, like the stream, subscribe to the channel, and join the VIP. Did we get any new VIP members? We're actually 4 subs away from 2,800. That's pretty cool. Did we get any new members? No, we're still at 67. Let's get that over 70. I want 3 new members this show. Holy shit, a Strad sighting, baby. It is not case sensitive, but you should put it in all caps, all right? I want the excitement and enthusiasm that a Friday evening deserves. Let's go take a look at what's happening over in Momentum Labs, shall we? All right, here's some of the low bros. Jeremiah, oh, wait, got the Filipowski down here. Steven Adams, both with the 0 caps. Those are the only 0 caps left. We know Filipowski doesn't have a card. Steven Adams got his first run last night. There's the Jamal Cain. Shout him out. Jamal Cain, you mentioned it earlier. He's got a cap of 3 and a projection of 15.4. You see Keaton Wallace. These aren't guys I know. He's got a projection. David Roddy. Okay, he's got a cap of 5 and projection for 22. I want to pull up. You're not going to see this. I'm going to do it in my own thing here. I want to pull up David Roddy's last game here, because if I recall, the Atlanta Hawks dropped 2 games in a row to the Washington Wizards here, and I believe it was Roddy who in the last game. Let me get this right here. Yes, in this last game, he went, all right, 5 for 10. I thought he took more than that. He took 10 shots. Still a lot of shots for a guy named David Roddy. Anyways, David Roddy's there. And we've got AJ Green and the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't know how much I would trust that. Julian Strother, there's our guy. Cap of 5, projection of 16 with 2 games this game week. That's more of an underdog play than anything else, unless it's a perfect fit for the contender lineups, but you could talk yourself into it. David Roddy, probably the better play in that range. We move on up to the 7 spot. There's Cody Williams. I mentioned him earlier. He has slid into the starting rotation for the Utah Jazz. Again, that is, if our guy Lauri Markkanen is going to miss some more time, Cody Williams seems to be the guy who got the first crack after Taylor Hendricks went down. But again, if Lowry's not playing, that's just more shots to go around, especially no Clarkson too. And then there's our guy, the big green Cornette, Luke Cornette, cap at 8, projection of 20. Sammy Merrill's down there. We get up to the 9 spot. You see Jalen Smith of the Chicago Bulls. He's questionable. And then we see Kevin Porter Jr., who was, one, a piece of shit, but also wearing some costume stuff out there. That was pretty fun. So we'll get a Where the Porters drop.
We're the Porters. We share the crowd of up and down performers. Throwing things and buzz repeater corners. And one of us is playing for the Warriors. We're juniors and we're the Porters.
Yo, the Porters, baby, the Porters. Jalen Smith, though, is kind of an intriguing one. If for some reason he's good to go, decent salary relief. But here we go, Timmy Hardaway Jr., cap of 10, projections for 23. Jay Huff and Glue's got a cap of 10, projection of 14. That's probably it in that range. Jordan Hawkins, though. Again, if Hawkins is good to go, which I don't know if we'll have that information in time. Again, if you guys get more injury news from Twitter while I'm rambling, throw it into the chat. But Jordan Hawkins, we saw him in his most recent game. He cooked, right? Hawkins cooked in the most recent one. Let me pull up his last splits. And again, with no CJ, now no Herb Jones for a little bit. In 5 games this season, he's averaging 16 and 5. He's shooting 40% from 3. That last game where they lost to the Golden State Warriors, he played almost 40 minutes, going 9 for 21, 4 for 14 from 3, 23 points, 4 boards, and a dime. I kind of lean that he's going to play. I kind of lean that he's going to play. So that's where I'm at. NH is saying 26, 37 on top tier projections. Yeah. Oh wait, which guy is that? Are you I'm not sure which one you're talking about. I the projections are going to be a little bit different. I think the top tier projections does a better job at capturing potential ceiling, and I think Momentum Labs is a little bit more of a stabilized floor in their projections. Would just my opinion as a user. Anyways, Jordan Hawkins would probably be my favorite play if he's good to go, and I think he's going to. People asking questions. Don't you worry, girl. I'll get there. Isaiah Jackson has a cap of 11 of a projection 16.5. Okay, let's talk about Isaiah Jackson here for a second. Let's go full screen. Isaiah Jackson is playing the New Orleans Pelicans tonight. And the Pels is one of those situations we talked about in some earlier videos, right? That they're not playing centers. They're playing Daniel Tice. He's questionable tonight. They're playing Yves Missy, who I believe is also questionable tonight. They were trying to play Herb Jones at the 5. They've been getting bodied at the boards, right? Because even Zion's been playing a little small ball 5, even though Willie Green does not want to admit that's what's happening. So I think you can attack them with some big men. So if Miles Turner plays, I think he's a fine play. But Isaiah Jackson, who's just come back with a cap of 11, a projection of 16.5, if Turner is ruled out, Isaiah Jackson could be one of the better value spots tonight. And again, that should be a fast-paced environment between the Pelicans and the Pacers. I like that one quite a bit. That's me. That's what I'm saying here. So Isaiah Jackson. Let's keep going up here. Let's get up to the 20 spot. We got Jose Alvarado. There we go. Grand Theft Alvarado. Alvarado. Cap of 14. Projection of 30 whole freaking fantasy points. Best thing about this is they have 2 games this game week. And again, on a short slate, we don't have a short like weekend slate. We don't have a ton of teams having 2 games. So that's pretty spicy. We like that. Let's get it to a cap of 15. Zaccharie Risache. So the rookies cap has come up high enough. Atlanta being relatively shorthanded. Novit Krejci. I believe DeAndre Hunter's already been ruled out as well. So Risa Shea is fine. Davion Mitchell is coming off a little bit of a heater. I was talking about him earlier today in the show or in an earlier show where he's had I think he had double-digit assists last game. That makes me nervous. I don't really consider Davion Mitchell an offensive super god. So I don't know how transferable those numbers are going to be night to night. But, there's worse options. Kevin Huerter, there you are. Cap of 15, projection of 22. Let's keep scrolling up. We got Christian Browntown, cap of 16, projection of 26. We got Josh Giddy Up, still playing pretty solid. He surpassed 40 fantasy points in his last 2 games. His last 2 games up over 40 fantasy points. With Zach LaVine questionable, I think he becomes a pretty big smash play here with the cap of 17. One of the higher ceilings on these in this range of play here. And that game against Brooklyn, should stay relatively close. Just throwing it out there. Also, you got Kaishan George here. I don't know if he has a card. He has a cap. Oh, he does, because our guy Jay Blaze has one. And Agbaji, not really a fantasy play, but has been doing better. I also would keep an eye on Taurean Prince here if that's somebody you're playing. There's only 1 game this game week, so maybe it doesn't happen. I have a feeling he's going to start losing some minutes here. Bucks have to do something. They look like YMCA AARP team right now, the way they're moving around the court. So I'd probably stay away from Taurean Prince, but something to monitor this weekend. Then you got Royce O'Neal, had a really big game off the bench. Bradley Beal questionable for the Suns, so who knows? Then the 19 range DFS, Daniel Gaffard and Ben Simmons, all projecting similarly. And last but not least, cap of 20, Keontae George and Butterhill. So there you go. Those are the best value plays. We could scroll up to the MVPs. I kind of already gave it away for the MVP stuff, right? Where I think if you're MVPing on a budget, Chet Holmgren is one of the ones that pops the most. Anthony Davis, obviously, only 1 game this game weekend. He is probable, but just a juiced up matchup against the Toronto Raptors. So I think you can get away with that. Tatum against the Hornets. Listen, I think you could do it. I think you could do Tatum against the Hornets. And it's 2 cracks against the Hornets. And maybe one of them sits, maybe one of them sits, whether it's him or Jaylen Brown in game 2. Something to think about. And then Sabonis and Fox, I think, are both in fantastic matchups this weekend. And I want to shout out both Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland as they play tomorrow night against the Milwaukee Bucks. So they should have a shot to get it done. All right, there we go. Let's do a palate cleanser. We need a video. We need a video to reset the table, as they say in the business. And then we're going to we're going to get into questions. So maybe we do a video for people who are buying and selling on the marketplace. There we go. There we go. You know what? We're going to do two more things and then get into questions. First, remind everybody, like the stream, subscribe, hashtag Embiid. That's going to give you a shot at a rare tier card. But we're also getting another rare tier card that we're giving away right now. And this is for the people that watched our value hunting episode. We drop a video every Sunday morning and Wednesday morning. Although maybe it's Saturday morning, one for each game week, breaking down the best plays. And just by watching the video and dropping a little comment, you get an opportunity for a rare tier card. We're going to spin that right now. I believe we had 30 entrants in this bad boy. A lot of familiar faces up in here. So we're going to spin this right now. If you win this, shoot me a DM at Mike Zakarian or join the Discord, which I'll drop a link to in the chat right now. Let's see who's the winner here. Who is the winner? Oh, DJP Swan. Let's go. Big time. Big time. We got Swingman 2 says, hey, Mike, big fan here. What do you think of my lineups this week? Chet, AD, Wemby, Tatum, and LaMelo. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You're better than that. You're better than that. All right, congrats, DJP. You get the W. Again, we're still giving away another rare tier card. All you have to do is like the stream, subscribe to the channel, and put hashtag Embiid into the chat. And Taylor, you're absolutely right. Some of these drops are legit bangers. We do have bangers here, okay? We do have bangers. We'll give you another banger. We got a long show, so we'll do another banger. How about this one? I don't think we can play him tonight, but let's let it ride. All right, here we go. We're going to start mapping. I'm also going to remind you, too, one more time. If you haven't signed up for the membership program, go get in there. Go become a baby Sorarian or a pro Sorarian. Sign up. It's a cool way to support the channel. Would love to get this one up over 100. Dropping a link to that in the channel as well. I saw Borland make fun of Swingman Pod for not being one. And also shout out Top Shot Tesla, because I think that's the only reason Borland's in there right now. Let's take a look at Benedict Mathurin, because Top Shot Tesla's been giving away a bunch of those memberships. So shout out Tesla. Benedict Mathurin doesn't project as well. He has a cap of 28, projection for 21.5. Jow, the one thing I will say, if Nembhard does get ruled out, which hopefully we get that information before we get to lock, I do think that gets a little bit of a boost, and I like what we're seeing with Mathurin. Also, we got an update 7 minutes ago. Brandon Miller and that ass of his, that glute, is still a game time decision heading into tonight. That is the question I'm starting with. So if I missed your question, start putting in the chat. Alberto giving us Jalen Green, I'm assuming, not Javonte Green, or Adebayor. Is that the Supreme Court justice? We've got, let's see, Bam Adebayo. Bam's been tough, man. That Miami Heat is a Miami Heat. Yikes. That Miami Heat is a tough watch right now. Cap at 33, projection at 36. They have one game. Jalen Green against Houston, for Houston, projects a little bit less. Let me just see that matchup quickly. Miami plays Washington. I think I'd rock with that. Houston plays Golden State. I think I would go Bam. I think I would go Bam there. Here we go. Deuce McBride. Hold on, Whistlemania. Before I get to this one, highest play value over. Do you mean under 17 cap, like 17 or less, or over 17? Because that means we could play anybody. You mean under 17, right? All right, let me go back to Deuce McBride and Tyus Jones, or is that Jabari Smith and Tyler Hero? Oh, well, while I look that up, let's get a little Tyler Hero, shall we? A little Tyler Hero for you. I think I'm going to go the second way of this. I think I'm going to go Jabari Smith, who projects for 27, and Hero, who projects for 30. I think I like that a little bit more because Tyler Hero has some more upside than McBride and Tyus Jones, I think. Taylor's got two questions for the chat. Clay or Jalen Green? and KCP or Patrick Williams. I would take Clay and I know. I'm sorry. I would take Jalen Green and Jalen Green and KCP. Jalen Green, KCP. Thoughts on your limited champ, says Jared. What's up, Jared? We've got this weekend. It's all in season. Is it Fox, Cade, J-Dub, Herter, and Mikal Bridges? Yeah, that's pretty good, man. I like De'Aaron Fox. I think that's like you're coming from behind a little bit, right? Because you're going up against guys playing Jokic or Wembanyama. So you really need a ceiling game from Fox. I think it's hard to like really take down a podium without those guys. But that matchup against Atlanta is chef's kiss. And then I think they have Toronto the next night. So it's a good night to play them Kangs. 17 or less has to be Giddey. Yeah, that's a good call. If we go back to that question earlier, cap of 17, but Giddey's going to be the most expensive. So we'll throw out Giddey, Derrick Jones Jr.'s a thought, Christian Brown with a cap of 16, and then Risa Shea, Davion Mitchell, Mo Wagner, if you want to get freaky with the Vogs. Wait, did that say? No, the Aaron Wiggins. And then Jose Alvarado and Jordan Hawkins. Giddey, Alvarado, and Hawkins are probably the three best plays right there. So cap of 17, 31 projection, so value is 14. Wait, who is the highest value? Value play cap over 17. Okay, I don't really have that. We just look for whatever's dark green, right? So I see what you're saying now. You see Nick Richards. Somebody was asking about him. He projects for just under 30. That's like a 9 value. 9's pretty good. We got an 11 from Cam Johnson over there. We've got a 10 from Mikal Bridges, but good luck trusting Mikal Bridges. Not on my house. What else we got here? I don't know if there's any other big dark greens, stark greens. It's the Jack's Mannequins reference. Jakob Poeltl. Actually, Jakob Poeltl's a good call. 2 games this game week. 1 against Sabonis, 1 against AD. So he's going to be forced to be out there. Kyrie Irving. Here you go. Here's one. Trae Young. Cap at 35. Projects for 50. That's a value of 15. And then you got Chet Holmgren, a value of 13. James Harden, a value of 11. There you go. Hope that helps. Let's see. What else we got? AD or Luka? Coach, yes, Sorare. All right, so they both have 1 game, I believe. Listen, I know Anthony Davis is in the better matchup. Luka's kind of disappointed from a Sorare fantasy point right now, but like, listen, man, it's going to be hard for me to click anyone's name instead of Luka.
Luka Magic.
Also, shout out to us, over 2,800 subs today. That means you picked up another 15. Love to see it. What else we got? Kyrie Burner says, I got no money spent. I'm no money spent and got 50% off up to a $5 and bought a Dinwiddie for $4.50. Is that good or bad buy? Listen, Kyrie Burner, there's been some people trying to get me to get excited about Din Chitty. I can't do it, but he does provide a good play this game week, value-wise. Cap of 8, projection of 13. So go for it. Jalen Green or Jakob Poeltl. Dude, give me the Poeltl. Give me the Poeltl. Let's just look at it, though, to double check here on Momentum Labs. They got Jalen Green for projection of 35. Poeltl, I believe, is north of 40. Yeah, 43. Give me the Jakob. I don't think anyone thinks to play Jakob Poeltl over freaking Jalen Green, but I like it. I think we do it. Patrick in the chat. Let's go, Patty. Says Buddy Hield, Norman Powell, Big Dick Nick, or Tobias Harris. We haven't talked about Norman Powell at all here. He projects for 29. We got Buddy projecting for 25. We got Richards projecting for 29, almost 30, or Tobias Harris. It's not going to be Tobias Harris. I'm never going to suggest for anybody. My suggestion will always be don't play Tobias Harris. None of this is financial advice. Do what you love what you do. Something like that, right? So it's going to be Nick Richards for me. And Lee on the line says Gafford, Nick, Dick, Rich, or Tobias Harris. Well, we already ruled out one. Give me the Big Dick, Nick, Rich, baby. Big Dick, Nick, Rich. We got Dominic in the chat. Let's go. Dominic, we have not seen you in a while, sir. It is good to see. Give Dominic a round of applause. We are a fan of big old Dominic. He says, what do you think about the Wagner brothers and RJ Barrett? I like them all. I would rank them. Honestly, Barrett's been like sneaky one of my favorite plays. Unfortunately, his cap is already pretty high, but you can see this right here. RJ and Franz right on top of each other. Pause. RJ projects for 37.5. Franzi projects for 37. And then I believe Moritz Wagner projects for just under 20. So obviously the first two better plays there. Julius Randle or Jalen Johnson? Now we're talking. We're getting into the weeds here. Randle projects for 39. I bet Jalen Johnson projects. Oh, there he is. Jalen Johnson projects for 36. They both have 2 games this game week. I think I would lean Jalen Johnson, but it should note that Julius Randle on a little bit of a heater.
Regular season Randall.
But I'm going with Jalen Johnson here. He's just a little bit more fun. MV Bid, hope the day's been good. Good to see you. Want your ideas on Zion or Maxey, Drummond or Mathurin, Alvarado or Hawkins? Okay. So I'm assuming those are 3 separate ones, right? I love Zion tonight. Zion is in an incredible matchup. He's going to have to play big minutes, I think. Cap of 43, projection for 44. Maxey, I believe, is going to project better than him, though. No, actually, Zion still projects a little bit better. So let's take Zion because that's what I wanted to do anyways. I would take Drummond over Mathurin since we already know no Embiid. And then I would go ahead and take, oh, man, if Jordan Hawkins is good to go, Jordan Hawkins. But if he's not, Alvarado. Either you're splitting hairs with Alvarado or Hawkins. You got to play both of them. Find a way to play both, whether it's different lineups or whatever. Bobby Rock in the house tonight. That took me a second. Bobby Rock in the water's all right. Yeah, Lindy Waters has starting. I mean, his second game wasn't as spicy as his first one. He's got a cap of 9 and a projection of 14.5. That, to me, screams contender or underdog. I think he can get away with it. You meant Jalen Smith and Hero, not Jabari. Okay, then the other one, Tyus Jones. If I can remember this, I'm the best there ever was. I don't think I can, though. Tyus Jones and Deuce McBride. Let's go. Let's see. We are fucking locked in today. All right, we are locked in. Give me Tyus Jones and Deuce McBride. God, I see. Sign up for the VIP because this is what happens. It's like Rain Man shit up in here. Okay, there you go. Deuce McBride and also it'd be really funny if it's not Deuce McBride. That's great though. Good shit by me. Giddy is a value plus 20. All right, there, Jared. Then there you go. What else we got? Champ, Tatum and Derek White, or Mitchell and Brown? Is that Jaylen Brown? I think I would go Tatum and White. Because again, I feel like if Al Horford's sitting tonight, I do think we see, like, you could get unlucky and Derek White sits tomorrow, but I wonder if like Drew Holiday sits tomorrow or somebody else sits tomorrow. I promise you somebody's going to sit for Boston tomorrow. All right. Gail, huge news for me and my big old bags. Karl Anthony Towns will warm up with the intent to play. Now, does he play? Who knows? We also got some news too, as I'm trying to do 2 things at once here. We got some news as well in that we've got the Magic starting lineup. So here you go. Here's some starting lineups for you. We got Suggs, Anthony Black, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Franzi Vogts, and Wendell Carter Jr. Andrew Wiggins listed probable for Saturday with Curry out. That makes Wiggins like a pretty solid play. So there's some updates there. Phone's about to explode with all these fire drops. You're absolutely right. Does Wiggins being probable kill it? Yes, it does, Jamie. Good call. Good catch, Jamie. Hello. And last game, we contender 250 in Classic and no card reward, and Champion 307, no card reward. Do you think it was only a high-scoring game week, or will it be like Christian? That's a good question, man. I wish I had some lineups that I could sweat in a way that it felt that way. I do think it's going to be. I think it is. I think this week was especially high scoring. I do think that, but I also think it is kind of, in the Classic competitions, it is going to be harder and harder to win rewards. So I just know that going out there. But I do think it was also high scoring. Is Kyrie Irving still worth a try, or should I go Zubac, Pirtle, or Garland? No, I think I would still take. Let's actually take a look at the book. All right, Kyrie projects for 43, so he's about the same as Pirtle. I think I would take Kyrie over. Well, wait, no. You know why I'd go Pirtle? 2 games, Leon. Oh, somebody wants Dort? Yeah, let me look up Luguentz Dort. He has a cap of 23, a projection of 19.8, but a 10 out of 10 banger. I don't believe we know if Lowry's playing. Pod's God. So Pajemski gets he gets a cap of 21, projection of 28. I mean, if Curry and Melton are still out, like, he's still a fine play. I do think his usage gets dinged a little bit with Andrew Wiggins, but you still roll out the Pod God. Why does Pirtle project so high? I don't see him winning against AD or Sabonis. Well, Johnny, let me tell you a little something about Domantas Sabonis. He does not play defense. So Jakob Poeltl should be fine against him. Maybe the rebounds won't be there as much, but Poeltl should be fine. Also, like one of the things when they're playing those like real bigs, it kind of secures his minutes because Toronto, they really don't have a ton of options of like real true centers. So his minutes are kind of secured there. What's RJ Barrett's projection looking like? I believe we pulled that up already. It's at 37. Cat is going to warm up. Yeah, he is, Reese. Zion or Sabonis, says Gonzalo. Listen, I do love Zion, but I think with Sabonis going up against the A-Town down Atlanta Hawks and then the Toronto Raptors tomorrow, I think you got to go Sabonis. He projects only 1 point better than Zion, though. I should say that. How many games do the Pelicans have? They have 2 as well. Oh, man. All right, listen. Gonzalo, Sabonis is the better play. But if you, like, had a Red Bull today, or maybe you're like, hey, I'm getting back into the gym. I'm doing a pool workout. Like, maybe you're just feeling yourself a little bit, right? You're seeing through the matrix. I play Zion, but Sabonis is the better play. Thought I heard somebody in the house. I got scared there for a second. We got Jalen Johnson and Isaiah Jackson or Garland and Brown. All right, well, we need to wait. Listen, I think Garland and Brown is the better play if Miles Turner is in. If Miles Turner is out, give me Jalen Johnson and Isaiah Jackson. Yes, in champion. That's the same. Pods and Pritchard. Yeah, we talked about Pritchard. Excellent play, both of them. How do you feel about Tyrese Halliburton, Derek White, Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley, Naz Reid for common daily rebounds and blocks? Yeah, that's really good. That's really good, Sean. All right, we got to do another video drop. We're going to do, let's do Bull here because I need 16 seconds to make sure nobody's in the house. Day after Halloween, guys. I'm a little freaked.
Bull.
Bull.
His first name is Bull and his last name is Bull?
No,
Look
yeah.
at his legs!
Yeah. Long legs.
Oh my god! I bet his legs are taller than my whole body. I'm leaving you for Bull. Like.
All right, we live to see another day. All right, let's keep trying to catch up with these questions. Just a reminder too, while I reset the table, do me a favor, like the stream, subscribe to the channel, put hashtag Embiid into the chat for a shot at a rare tier curd giveaway. We got 100 entrants right now, but way more than that. 252 right now. And if you're watching over on Twitter, hey, what's up? Come on over to YouTube. I shared right underneath the tweet that is the video. You can see a tweet to come join us over at YouTube at Elite Fantasy Hoops so you can get involved in these sick-ass giveaways. Let's go back over to the Proj. Almost shared G-Chat instead. Let's see. If you had a hall pass for any NBA player, why would it be Lindy Waters? Listen, dude, I've seen the TikTok. I've seen the fucking TikTok. Poeltl or Jaylen Brown? Jaylen Brown. 2 games, Charlotte Hornets. Maybe Tatum sits 1. Jew, what's up? Jew says, in your mind, what's the best approach for championship? Does running 4 beasts and no one really small cap with upside 15-20? So this is a good question. In champion, it's all about like the upside in the play. Like you were saying with the upside 15-20 over cap. I think like if you have a Jordan Hawkins or a Jose Alvarado or a Josh Giddey, you can go beast mode with those other guys, right? Because that cap's not going to, that's a 17 or a 14 or an 11. If you have one of those like really low guys that project okay, like the Jamal Cain that we talked about, like if he can get up to 20, then I think you can go beast mode. Otherwise, it really comes down to who your MVP is. You need an MVP that at the end of the weekend has a shot at being the number 1. If that's the case, then you can tinker. You know what I'm saying? You see your guy Khalil Ware, he's -1. Will he be a value play? Yeah. Listen, the Khalil Ware bags were built for February, okay? They weren't built for November. They were built for February. Tristan Da Silva projections. All right, Bjorn, let's look at him. Let's look at Tristan Da Silva. He's not projecting at all. I hate to break it to you. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's wrong. Let me check top tier. Let's see if they I don't think he had him either. No, Da Silva's not projecting. So there you go. Maybe a leak in the game. 800 more entries in the in-season limited champ competition from game week 1 to game week 3. Only going to get harder to win there now. Yeah, well, I think it's going to mix things up here when we get the in-season tournament, which, by the way, they're giving out freaking trips to Vegas to see the in-season tournament final, the Emirates Cup. They're giving away freaking $100K starting I thought it started on Tuesday, but Tuesday, we vote in America anyways. Or depending on No, we're not going to make voting fraud jokes. Not today. Not on my show. But anyways, I think that will change things a little bit too. Chimp says Luke is going to want to shut up the haters, and it's going to throw everything. I don't see Clay or Kai getting high points. Yeah, I think Kyrie can get there with, like, we saw him drop 28, 7, and 7, right? So he can still do the assists and rebounds thing. I don't think Luka cares so much as long as they win. But yeah, Christian says, what do you think about Schroeder? He's on a heater these last 3 games. Yeah, Dennis is playing really good basketball right now. So the Brooklyn Nets, like, a little feisty, aren't they? He's going to cap at 33, projects for 32. I wish his cap was like 25, but like, you could do worse there. I think Dennis is fine. Yeah, that's a perfect use of the meme. That's a perfect use of that Conan meme. Did you see Dylan Brooks having his best Halloween? I did. I did see some of that. LaMelo or Sabonis? Wow. Man, they both have 2 games. I don't love LaMelo against the Celtics, but I think I'm playing LaMelo, man. I am taking LaMelo. Zion or Edwards? Yeah, now we're getting spicy. I still think it's Zion, man, because, well, they have 2 games too. I think it's Zion. I think Zion's just going to be asked to do a little bit more. Can't go wrong there. I know. I think a lot of people probably lean Anthony Edwards, but I would do it. Best cap out of 21. Don't ask Josh Giddey. Let's see the 21 range. I believe we're gonna see. All right, Big Dick Nick Rich and the Pod God, 2 of the best right there. You also Rui Hashimura. We didn't talk about Rui. He projects well. We the North, the Mogbo Hive. You guys stand up. Jonathan Isaac projects okay too. Herb Jones, we know he's out. He's not projecting. And then in the 20 range, Keontae George. Again, we got to stress Jordan Clarkson missing the second half of that game for the Jazz last night. If there's no Keontae George is going to take 30 shots at some point, so throw that out there. Live before lock your doors. That's good. Wow, I'm pretty far behind on the chat, huh? Let me catch up here. Halliburton is going to project 68. No, I don't think so. 68's a lot. You really trust in Turtle Purtle against the Brow? Yeah, I mean, listen, there's definitely some fear there. But Jakob's actually been playing like pretty good ball. I know Anthony Davis is a god, but he also gets Sabonis night 2. I like it night 2. Franz Wagner report looks good. He's healthy. He's going to play. Projects for 37 points. If the shot goes down, I could see him having a ceiling of 50. Alvarado just went for $27 in an auction. Wow, that's big money, not financial advice. Yeah, he projects for 37. I got you. Man, I hope Cat will play. I got so much kitty cat in the underdog streets. Best play under 28. Is it Johnson? If so, do you prefer Big Nick, Dick, or Giddy? No, I would take Giddy over Nick Richards. I would take Giddy over Nick Richard. And then that 28 range you were asking about, yeah, not a lot of super duper value plays in the 28 range. Nick Claxton, although he's been coming off the bench, it's been a little weird. And then Michael Porter Jr., which, are we going to play the same drop twice in the same show like a true fish? You damn right.
We're the Porters. We share the crowd of up and down performers. Throwing things in buzzer beater corners. And one of us is playing for the Warriors. We're juniors and we're the Porters.
Super Carl, going back to what we were talking about earlier, saying his favorite format for the champion. A value play like a Luke Cornett, Roddy Kane, or some of the better ones that I said. And then a super MVP, 270 ceilings and a 50 ceiling. Yeah, that makes sense. Jared in the chat saying in season might get getting more people in it, but it's still a 1 in 3 chance of winning a card. 1 in 3? You got a 33% chance? Jaden Ivey, you know what? We haven't talked about Ivy. Detroit plays the Knicks tonight. Ivy, shout out to JB Bickerstaff. Maybe didn't make it work in Cleveland, but at least he's playing Jaden Ivey. His cap's too high. Cap at 30, projection at 27. A little too high. He's fine, but people want the Detroit drop. I'll give you a little Detroit basketball.
Detroit basketball. Detroit basketball. You better
I don't think we're getting Yuki projections, but shout out our short kings. Looking for Bridges, Mikal, I hope, not the domestic abuser. Mikal Bridges has a cap of 24, projection of 34. Yeah, you just got to is Mikal going to do stuff, Is he going to do stuff? I think Cat coming back lowers his ceiling a little bit. If Cat misses, I like him a little bit more. But at a cap of 24, he doesn't have to do much to get there for what Mikal Bridges does. He'll be out on the court quite a bit. So there you go. Bottomline says he's enjoying the Cat still being soft and in foul trouble disaster. Dude, he just put up like 44 points against Scam Adebayo. We got Jalen Green or Kyrie Irving. Also be interesting to see in their projections. Oh, Ice. So you don't want just my thoughts, Ice? Is that what you're saying? My thoughts aren't good enough. You need numbers. Are you a numbers bro? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Sorry. All right, let's go. Yeah, let's go look at that. My guess would be Kyrie Irving. Like you got to play Kyrie Irving over Jalen Green. I know it's 2024, but all right, let's see. We got Kyrie has a cap of 30-40, projects for 43. And then Jalen Green, yeah, okay, I feel better. Jalen Green has a cap of 33, projects for 35. One game versus Kyrie's one game. Give me Kyrie, baby. Give me Kyrie. Ingram going wild or Andrew Wiggins? I'm definitely playing. I like Andrew Wiggins. I think Andrew Wiggins is a good play since he's probable tomorrow. I will be taking Brandon Ingram over Andrew Wiggins. Faux show. Especially against the Indiana Pacers. Can't stress enough. That fast-paced environment is good for business, okay? So that's why we're going to be firing that up. Sorry, guys. I'm going to just make sure I'm not missing any other news here. Reminder, about 20 minutes away from our guy, Mr. Worldwide. I think that's Worldwide Wob will be joining the show. Excited about that. Mike Baston in the house. Let's go, Mike. Jakob Poeltl and Harden with one game, or Suggs and Edwards. Wow. It's Poeltl and Harden. I love Suggs. I think he projects great. James Harden's on a mission right now, on an absolute mission. So give me that. But you can't go wrong. Like Suggs does project really well. But no, I think I go Poeltl and Harden. Claxton, Cam Johnson, or Suggs. It's going to be Jalen Suggs, and I don't think it's going to be close. Suggs, actually, it might be close. Suggs projects for 38. Cameron Johnson projects for 34. And again, the ceiling's a little bit different on top tier projection. And then Claxton 32. Yeah, I think I would go Suggs, Johnson, Claxton. I wish they weren't bringing Claxton off the bench, man. I really do. I don't know what's happening. I do not know what's happening over there. Although Jordy Fernandez seems to be coaching the hell out of that team. So who am I? Who am I to judge? We got Emmanuel quickly officially ruled out. I mean, he was doubtful, so no surprise there. Oh, thank you, Yosa. John Warner, all my homies want to know, Giddey or White as Chicago's scroll down tonight. I'm Team Giddey, man. I'm Team Giddey. But I don't think you can go wrong. I think Kobe White can put up good numbers. These are so rare projections, not UD, but they are from our guy JBB. Kobe White projects for 32, but Giddey projects for 31, so it's pretty close. Giddey's coming off 240-plus point performances. I bet on the triple-double earlier today. I'm Giddey up. I'm Team Giddey up. ESPN fires their best. Might as well hire Mike now. I'm with it. Make sure to ask Bob, Meghan Markle, or Knicks basketball. All right, Allen or Mobley. There we go. Allen or Mobley. Mobley projects for 38. Jared Allen projects for 32. My only concern with Cleveland, listen, Orlando are dogs, okay? The Magic are dogs, and they play dog defense. I am a little bit nervous that Cleveland is the second best team in the East, third best team in the freaking whole NBA, and they come out and they beat the pants off of the Orlando Magic without Paolo Banchero, who is not only creating all this offense for himself, but was creating so much offense for everybody else. So I'm 10% nervous that this game is over at halftime. Mike is saying, should I drop Chris Middleton? I mean, he's not even playing 5-on-5 yet. I'm nervous. I thought Middleton was going to be back maybe second week of November, and maybe it's a quick ramp up and they're just mum's the word on it right now. I am a little nervous on Middleton. I'm not too familiar with the dynamics of your league, but I am a little bit nervous on him. Jared said, I'm waiting a couple more weeks and we'll have a champion contender lineups in each week. There you go. All right, keep cooking, Jared. Giddey likes the kitties. All right, I didn't mean to read that out loud. That was some Ron Burgundy shit. Halliburton or Daddy Derek White? What's going on with Derek White? Derek White just become a dad or a zaddy? Are we talking Derek White, let's get after it now that he shaved his head? So Derek White projects for 34. You can't play. You got to play Halliburton. You got to play Halliburton. Yeah. You got to play Halliburton. I know the Pacers only have one game and it's against the Pels. I mean, listen, if you want to flip a coin and just say, hey, listen, Drew Holiday's going to sit tomorrow, then sure, you can fuck around. You fuck around with Derek White. I don't think I would do it, though. Terrence Mann projections? Oh, I'm sorry. You want a little man hands? We talk about Terrence Mann hands?
Let me see your man hands, money.
And we got a drop for every player that doesn't matter. Man, I think you want Trey instead, but Terrence Mann has a cap of 18, projection of 15. Clippers only have one game. That's probably a little too thin this game week unless you got to do it. Christian saying his best lineup will be Jokic, Tatum, Chet, Brown. Okay, yeah, it's a good lineup. Yeah, it's a great lineup. We got Charles Young in the house. Wow, I can't believe how far my Jamal Murray stock has fallen. We got Anthony Simons or Jamal Murray. Simons over here projecting for 33. Jamal, please be more. I want Jamal. Projection for 38. Oh, yeah, and they got 2 games this game week, Let's go with Jamal Murray. Although I do like Simons, man. Ooh, came in third, limited champ, paid off a good chunk of my team. Time for rare. Volunteers trying to level up in the chat. Let's go. Volunteers, is it time for you to sign up for? Are you a member already, Volunteers? I think you are. You're already a member. Which, by the way, did he level up to rare because he's a member, because he's a YouTube member? Probably. Yeah, probably. Should you become one? Yeah, probably. I'm going to drop a link to that in the chat right now, too. Sign up. Suda Muhammad says, Sabonis, Giddey, or Booker Gobert. Sabonis and Giddey. Give me Sabonis and Giddey, man. I would venture to guess Giddey outscores Gobert this game week on his own. Doesn't even matter what the cap is. Giddey outscores Rudy Gobert. This is going to be a take that'll probably age like milk. But there we go. Do you think Drummond is still a good player? Should I look at someone with better value? Well, let's go look at what Andre Drummond's cap is at right now over his last 10. He's got a cap of 25, projects for 25, right? There's not really a lot of plays in this range that scream better play except for Mikal Bridges. For whatever reason, we really haven't seen ceiling Drummond. Something's always happened where it just like we don't see it. We don't see the ceiling. So if you can get down to Mikal Bridges, I think that's fine. But outside of Mikal Bridges, I think I'm rolling with Drummond. Also, I see Alex Sarr here, cap of 24, projection of 25. Can we start circling the wagons here on the Alex Sarr stuff? I feel like we were banging the Alex Sarr drum for a little while, and he's looking all right last couple games. You know what I'm saying? Second of the man's. Derek White has 2 kiddos. There you go. Hey, how about Taylor in the chat? Taylor got married. What was this last weekend you got married, Taylor? And he's still grinding live before lock. I still don't believe that you're in a committed relationship, just because of how you were like, oh, I don't want to wake my girl up. Every time I submit my So Rare lineup, it goes bing, and that wakes her up. She doesn't like it. Nice try. Nice try, Taylor. Married to the game. That's what you got married to. You got married to the game. I know the projections, but from you, Mike, RJ Barrett or Jalen Johnson. Wow, that's like picking one of my favorite kids. I don't have kids, but I assume it'd be pretty easy for me to pick favorites. I just want to double check Jalen Johnson's projection real quick. He projects for 46 while RJ projects for 37. As much as I want to say RJ Barrett, Scar J Barrett, we're going Jalen Johnson. We're going Jalen Johnson. Fox and Mitchell, your thoughts and analytics. There you go. Listen, I love De'Aaron Fox against the Atlanta Hawks. You got Atlanta and Toronto. What does the Fox say? It says, put me in your fucking lineup. De'Aaron Fox. Give me De'Aaron Fox. Is Luke Cornett usable and champion? I tell you what. He is this game weekend. It's Luke Cornett season. All right? It's Luke Cornett season. Champion's tough, though. I don't know if you want to put him in champion. It's close. It is close. It depends what the rest of your lineup is, Alan. I think Luke's, I think his ceiling's probably 25. If you think 25, if he can get you there with 25, I think you can rock with it. You could lean with it, and you can rock with it if you would like. All right, let me do a quick check here. Make sure no other injury news things came in. Reminder, we got Wob join us here a little bit. Kelly O's still out a couple more weeks. Toronto's down so freaking bad. Let's see how many people we got in this giveaway here. We're going to give them a giveaway. And a reminder, if you're watching on Twitter, come on over to YouTube so we can boost these mother effing numbers. We got 118. All you got to do is like the stream, subscribe to the channel. Speaking of subscribing to the channel, what are we at now? 2,804. We are rich. All right? We are loaded now. Just straight cash, homie. And then if you haven't joined the Discord, let's get some more bitches up in the Discord. Dropping a link to that into the chat as well. And if you haven't signed up for the membership yet, honestly, I'm starting to take it personally. And I'm going to go like Michael Jordan in The Last Dance. And I'm just going to have it's going to look like I've been drinking a lot of whiskey. I'm going to be staring at an iPad. All right, let's go back over here. What else we got? Al ruled out. Yeah, mentioned Al was ruled out. That's why we're wearing the shirt. Which 2 out of James Harden, Booker, and Jordan Poole? I think it's the first 2. I know Jordan Poole's been playing some better hoops lately. He projects for 33. Booker projects for 42, and Harden projects for 51. So there you go. There you go. Booker and James Harden. Let it ride. Who from the Raptors do you recommend? I like RJ Barrett. Listen, the people want you to like Mogbo. It might be Mogbo time. I think I would rank them for ceiling of points. I would go RJ Barrett, Jakob Poeltl, and then I don't even know after that. Grady Dick's been great, man. Grady Dick's having a great year too. I don't really think you can play either Dick or Mogbo yet because I think Mogbo's cap is like Well, Pool Mogbo is not his last name. That would be if they got married. He's Cap's already 21, man. It's hard to get above that. I don't know. I think I would just stick to Pirtle and that. We're still doing that. Best under 9 Cap plays. I got you, D4 win. Let's go. The big ones are Jalen Smith here, but he's still questionable. Am I going to play the same video a third time because Kevin Porter Jr., the abuser, came up? Yeah, we'll play that video one more time because we're the Porters.
We're the Porters. We share the crowd of up and down performers, throwing things and buzz repeater corners. And one of us is playing for the Warriors. We're juniors and we're the Porters.
There you go. So you got Kevin Porter Jr. down there. We see Lindy Waters the third. But there we go. Luke Cornett. It's our guy, Luke Cornett. You should have just looked at the shirt. I didn't even need to tell you. Brunson here. Let's see what Brunson has. He's got a 1 game, projects for 42.9. If Detroit can keep this game relatively competitive, which they've done, it's a lot of competitive L's for the Detroit basketball Pistons. I do like Brunson. All the Frenchies looking fucking magnifique. Yeah, Bilal Coulibaly. Victory lap Bilal Coulibaly for days, baby. For days. Been telling you guys this. I think it was since June we've been doing videos on Bilal. There you go. There we go. Honeymoon into Thailand next weekend? Hell yeah, man. Take me with you. Not with you, but you know what I mean. Michael Porter Jr. and Jalen Duren. Duren projects for 30. What is Porter Jr.'s cap here? Porter Jr.'s caps come all the way down to 26. They have 2 games this game week. He's been playing bad. Jack says, would you risk Hawkins? Yeah, I would. I mean, he played the other night. I feel like he's going to play tonight, too. He was questionable going into that game. Played that game, was like their second best offensive player behind Zion. I think Hawkins is going to go. Cam Thomas, you mean Scam Tom? No, Cam Thomas has cap of 38, projection for exactly 38. However, I do think this game has a chance to be a sneaky shootout with Brooklyn and Chicago. I know Chicago's off that game against the Orlando Magic where nobody scored for the first 7 minutes of the fourth quarter, but I do think this game stays relatively close. I don't know. I can see it getting out of control. Ball, Edwards, or Maxey. I would rank them LaMelo, Edwards, Maxey. I'd rank them in the order that you have them. Let's see. Naz Reid, Jonas Valanciunas, or Malik Beasley. It's not Malik Beasley. I'll tell you that right now. Naz Reid is projection for 26 here. And then my name is Jonas. Projection for 26 as well. I think I would go Naz Reid over Jonas. I feel like we're going to get a pretty good, fun game tonight between Minnesota and Denver. Let's go with Naz Reid. It's Dick Bree season. There you go. Any case in Wallace love? I mean, as a basketball player, yes. I don't think you can from the fantasy. Whoa, hey, excuse me. He projects for 21. There you go. I should have called. Good catch. Good call out. What's up with Malik Monk? Yeah, Malik Monk we haven't really seen vintage Monk. He projects for 28 with a cap of 22. I will say, though, Malik Monk, man, my mustache. I trimmed my mustache. I got hairs inside my nose. I will say Malik Monk missed a lot of the preseason. I think he's just kind of finding his flow right now. Also, Kevin Huerter playing a little bit better basketball. So, but I think the Malik Monk run is coming here. Wendell Carter Jr. or Cody Martin. Give me Wendell Carter. First time this week submitting a classic limited lineup. There you go. What else you got here as we were catching up? Don't sleep on. Hey, give me Nemias, baby. The pride of Portugal. Let him cook. Wait, Jasper saying Levine will play? Interesting. I thought for sure. So we've got Levine in, Jalen Smith in, Patrick Williams in, Levine in, Brandon Miller ruled out. Wow. I honestly would have thought that was going completely the other way. I'm a little bit surprised by that. I still like our Giddy, though. I'm okay with the Giddy up. Especially because it's like he's going to be getting assists. It's Malik Monk, bruh. Wait, what did I say? What happened with Malik Monk? Did I mess that up? Have you set your lineups? No, I got to do that here in a little bit. I'm old enough to have used a nose trimmer every so often. Yeah. I was trying to, I think I said this in one of the VIP videos. I'm about to unload a bag here next week I think I'm going to go hard at the Emirates Cup. We're going to make some content around it. I think because we might do some special live before locks for the Emirates Cup. So get excited for that. We'll figure that out. I can't believe I caught up on questions, guys. We are just cooking right now. Absolutely cooking. Hopefully we get a little bit more news here to spice things up. Rob Perez is going to be joining us here. Also, big shout out to Rob for wanting to do this every week, huh? Isn't that crazy? Wanted to hang out with us? Love it. Will Horford play the second game of a back-to-back? I think so. I think so. Do I have a Charles? So I've got one for top tier projections. Top tier projections. If you go to top, I know it's a little bit more expensive. So if you're only playing limited, I recommend not doing that. But top tier projections, if you're spending a little bit of money, get in there. Use promo Team Hold 10. It gets you 10% off. But if you're mostly doing limited and you're not spending too much cash, all right, he got the coin. He's ready to go. Yeah, top tier projection. This is what we were using. I don't like sharing too much of it because it's behind the paywall, and I don't want to I want to make sure people are actually using the product here. But I'll give you a little feel for it. You can got plenty of filters on here, but the best thing that it does, if you sort by collection, it'll show you what you have. You can also run the optimal, which I'm not going to do, but if you hit run, it would show you the best plays using the cap. You can do it for contender, champion, underdog. So it's pretty good shit. Highly recommend top tier projections. But again, if you're only playing limited, I don't think it makes sense to do it. But if you're dabbling a little bit more, spending a bunch of stuff, go ahead and do it. Team Hold 10 gets you 10% off. They've got a monthly rate or an annual rate. Totally up to you. Let's catch up here. We got some excitement for Rob. We love that. Man, do I spend on LaMelo for this 2-game slate against the Celtics? Yeah, I don't really know what to do with LaMelo here. That's a good question. Like, I know he projects well. I am a little bit nervous about games against the Celtics, right? I think I would have liked it a little bit more if Brandon Miller was playing. I would have trusted Charlotte to keep this a little bit closer. I mean, no Al Horford, so maybe if it stays close, because I think people are sleeping on like Tatum on a short slate and Jaylen Brown on a short slate because it's 2 games against the Hornets. But if that game does stay close, it's not going to be like a defensive showdown, you know? Also, Charles Lee, first time coaching his former team. Yeah, I do kind of like LaMelo. Super Carl says, I'm trying for a podium. What would you change? Cornette, Trey, Johnson. Is that Cam Johnson or Jalen Johnson? That's got to be Jalen Johnson, right? I don't think I'd change anything. I mean, Chet really is one of the best projected plays on the entire slate. It's insane. It's insane. We've got what else? What else, you guys? Does Jacoby Walter project for anything now that he should be back from injury? Yeah, he might make his debut tonight, right? Jacoby, what is it? Is it Jacob? Yeah, there we go. He does not project. I think he's still questionable. Did he get ruled in yet? But this would be his first action, right? That's the Rook. All right, no other news yet. What are your thoughts on how the Magic minutes are going to go? Is there any chance John Isaac will play 25 minutes? I don't know, man. Trying to project Jonathan Isaac minutes are like trying to project Kanye West tweets, you know? Like, it's just they don't like if they play. I think they'd probably scared to play him more than 30 minutes, right? Because they just don't want him to get hurt again. So good luck. Good luck doing that. Let's see. Yeah, we had AG here. That's fun. AG in the Discord too. Knocked out another quickie. Nice try, Weisberg. Sabonis, LaMelo, Mitchell, Schroeder, and Cam Thomas. Yeah. By the way, guys, we do a ton of Underdog daily content too. So if you're only here for So Rare and you've only dabbled with Underdog, make sure you go check that out. We do a ton of Underdog stuff. Go sign up for did we get any new members yet? Where are we at for membership here? We're at 60. We're still at 67. 67. We got to get come on. We can get 3 more. We can get 3 more. Go sign up for the members. It gets you into Live After Dark. Are you kidding? Live After Dark. Show for the VIPs, baby. Luka or Wemby. Now we're talking, DJP. Somebody spent some cash. So Wemby, man, he reminded us all last night with that insane performance of that ceiling. He projects pretty high. A little bit less than Luka. Who do the Spurs play this weekend? It's not tonight. They play Minnesota. Yeah. I think I'm playing Luka over Wemby. I know. Fish stuff, I know. Levine or Jalen Green. It rhymes. Let's see. What are the Levine projections now that he's in? Projects for 33. I think I'd still go Jalen Green. Just in case Levine's not 100%. I think I would do it. Triple-double is off the board for yeah, dude, that was the fifth. It was 17x when we made the bet. Went down to 15x. Listen, it's probably not going to happen, but that's a sick bet. Pick 3 for daily. Ayton, Booch, Allen, J-Dub, and who's the other Allen? Or is it the same Allen twice? I think Ayton rebounds are nice. J-Dub, I think I would go. I think Jared Allen you want out there. Allen Allen, Ayton, and Vooch probably. I put J-Dub last, I think. Best MVP this week. Yeah, we're talking about this. I mean, Anthony Davis is up there. I still think I'm playing Luka, Wemby, Jokic first. I think those are going to be my first three in. And then and then you can get into the conversation around Anthony Davis. The sneaky one is Chet Holmgren. I mean, Chet Holmgren has the third or fourth highest projection depending on where you're looking on the entire slate. So nutso stuff. Jamal Murray or Zubac? Give me the Zubac. We bought a zoo, baby. We bought a zoo. I didn't spend. Yeah, but that's okay, DJP. You're rich. You're rich in love. You're rich in love. What else we got? Luka over Giannis. Yeah, I'm taking Luka over Giannis. The second one was Mobley. Yeah, I'd put Mobley third. Ayton out. Well, Mobley's got higher upside for block. Maybe I don't know. Mobley and Ayton. Get Mobley and Ayton in there. No, the Chet's not better than Wemby. Listen, I love Chet. It's hard to compare the two of those guys right now when they're just surrounded by very different players, man. That OKC San Antonio game, yes, Wemby got punked, man. Caruso was guarding Wemby. Jalen Williams was guarding Wemby. They were throwing guards and wings on him. Clearly a way to slow him down. And yes, the game Wemby had last night was against the Utah Jazz. It's hard to get too excited about that, but it's hard to compare the two, man. You just look at the surrounding rosters. I say this from experience. The difference between a Luka and a Jokic can take you from first to 80th. Well, we don't have a Jokic magic drop, but we do have a Luka magic drop. So why don't we get a Luka magic drop?
Luka magic.
I would play Jokic over Luka, though. Jokic being one of the few teams with 2 games this game week. So that is kind of how I would approach it. That is high. You think Yabusele is still a good play? His cap is now at 17. Man, I don't think so. Let's see. He projects for 11. Nope. No, we love the Myas, baby. We love the Myas. Let's see what Keita's projecting for, though. He projects for 18 over here. Yeah, you can fuck with the Myas. Let's go. Is it Nemias? Nemias. And he projects for 18 over on top tier. Yeah, let's do it. Do you think? Yeah, Johnny, we were just talking about the LaMelo. We were just talking about it. I do think so. I think one of these 2 games stays close. I bet one of them's a blowout, but one of them stays close. I think so. I think so. I think so. I think it does. Also, 2,813. We are just cooking with subs. Keep the subs coming. Tyler Hero or Darius Garland. That's a fun one, man. I don't love this Orlando Magic matchup, but if people are looking ahead, man, Darius Garland against the Milwaukee Bucks should be gold. So give me Garland over that. Do we think Giannis will play? Yeah. I'll be stunned if Giannis doesn't play. I mean, especially after that performance last night against Memphis. I know he dropped 37 and 11, and people were like, you can't be losing games when Giannis drops 37 and 11. 10 of those points came when that game was over. How about Trey Mann if they get blown up? Yeah, his cap's gotten too high, man. His cap's gotten too high. If you want to play Trey Mann, just bet his overs. We talked about Trey Mann last game week. His cap's come up, but he looks great. Thoughts on Big Dick Nick Rich? You saying Nick Christensen? Yeah, we like Nick Rich. He projects for 29 Sorare points. Again, he's not going to be going against Al Horford, the defensive wizard of Big Al. So it'll be Cornette. It'll be Xavier Tillman. It'll be Nemias Queta. And Nick Rich is on a heater, right? Nick Rich is playing really good. Tillman or Cody Williams? Yeah, man. So I think so Tillman projects for 13. Cody projects for 14.8. I'd go Cody Williams. I would. A little bit more risk there, but a little bit more upside. Seb, Dyson Daniels has been ruled out. He's already been ruled out for Atlanta. He's not playing tonight. So maybe he plays the next game, but I don't think we can do it. And then we got Alan saying, is Giannis, Siakam, Brunson, Pirtle, and Cornette good for champs? No, I think you could do that, man. I think if Cornette gets you 25, you need ceiling game from Cornette. But of course you do. You need ceiling games from everybody. So Magic Ben should be awesome against Cavs if the Cavs play the last game that they swept the team. Yeah, this is a different Cavs team, man. This is a different Cavs team, Dominic. This Cavs team is built a little bit tougher right now. So I think I'd be okay with it. Let's go check in on the daily game, though, real quick here, just over on Sorare, so that I can just remind you what the contest is for the daily game. So we're looking at, what do we got here? Blocks and so there we go. Back to school. Rebounds and blocks gains 2x points. Boarding school. Okay, I didn't understand the back to school reference. Speaking of back, we got Wob joining live before like 2 times in a row. Look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us. How we doing?
Another day, another dollar, my friend.
Yeah.
What has changed since the last time that we spoke? Anything?
Just people getting hurt. That's what's changed. Paulo
Well, yeah. I
Banchero.
mean, I got hurt on the tennis court yesterday.
Yeah.
So everyone's getting hurt, but I'm still out there grinding. I'm still in these Twitter streets. I'm still doing Sorare NBA. I'm doing all these things.
What kind of injury were we battling on the? Did it get like a Twitter alert? Did we get an alert from Chris Haynes or Shams?
Well, I did go in front of the community today when I was being questioned about not showing up for my tennis match, and I told them everything that I've done for this effing city, for this effing community. Okay, and you doubt my work ethic, my tennis ethic, after everything I've accomplished.
That's incredible. I imagine if they just said he was injured and that this would not be a thing, but because they refuse to admit that he's injured, we have to do this.
Yeah. So I talked about this on my Sirius XM show earlier today, that if Joel Embiid would have either been allowed or recommended from the front office, and he just went out there and said these words, "My knee hurts.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to play. I can barely get out of bed. I'll be back when I'm ready. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My knee hurts. That's it. Period." All of this would have been avoided.
Oh,
but because the 76ers want to do this dance with us in that everything's fine, stop asking questions, we're going to call it left knee management, and then you end up getting fined by the NBA. You send Nick Nurse out there to just give one-word answers to open-ended questions. Now people are going to start forming their own opinions because the idle mind is a devil's playground.
Right.
So you've got the fan base saying, "Are you not telling us the truth? We can see through all the bullshit." And that's exactly what's happened now. And it's boiled over to the point Embiid has to come out and defend himself against a city that is notorious for being a little hyperbolic, to say
for sure. But it is true. Like if they just said this from the gate, I think Sixers fans would be like, "Good. We don't need you right now. Let's rest them. Let's rest them." But instead, because they're doing this like weird dance, and listen, I know Nick Nurse is a great coach. Little thorny at times, while also having his own merch. I think that kind of it's tough.
For someone that is out here trying to gain popularity to sell merch, you should probably be a little bit more
pro,
authentic and genuine. You're not Kawhi Leonard in that you can just be that particular character. I mean, he's built that over a decade, right?
Yeah, or at least come up with a logo. I think you got to do more than initials for your merch. I think I need you to do a little bit more.
Right.
So heading into this weekend, I think like the biggest like situation that we gotta like figure out from whether it's a fantasy perspective, gambling perspective, so rare perspective, is the New Orleans Pelicans, who are now down. I think you might be playing. I think you're logged for like 18 to 22 minutes tonight for the Pels. They're without CJ, they're without DeJounte, they're without Herb Jones, and then I think players 5 through 9 are all questionable tonight. And Jordan Hawkins, Yves Missy, Daniel Tice. I mean, I have no idea what to do with that. I think Hawkins plays just based on playing 2 nights ago, but I feel like that's the biggest situation we kind of got to figure out because there's a lot of value there if you can.
Well, listen, either daily fantasy, Sorare, props, bettors, you want volatility in lineups. You want turnover because it opens up opportunity, and bookmakers or line setters sometimes don't know how to project anything, especially when information is being held close to the vest.
Right.
Like it is with the Pelicans and the 76ers. But I asked Antonio, who's my Sirius XM partner. He does the play-by-play for the Pelicans alongside Joel Myers. I'm like, what the hell's going on down there? Are you bringing your shorts to the gym tonight in anticipation of potentially getting called into this game? Because you can do the next man up mentality all you want until you run out of bodies. You got to have soldiers to fight a war. And the Pelicans, between DeJounte, CJ, the entire roster's hurt. So is this a breakout for Jose Alvarado tonight? Misi has been great, but he's been in and out of the lineup. Now he's battling an injury as well. Zion's been on a minutes restriction. You have Daniel Tice, who's, I think, out officially.
Well, no. So we actually, it was funny. Just as I said that, we got some updates a minute ago. It looks like we've got Hawkins, Tice, and Missy all expected to play. So,
okay. Well, that changes things. So If we're looking for value and buy low opportunities, it's got to be, if you rank those players, it's got to be Hawkins 1.
Yeah.
And I want to say like Messi should be, but he's so young. They don't run any sets for him, and all of his opportunity comes from second chance, getting rebounds or putbacks,
I think if
defensive
Tice
rebounds.
was ruled out, I would have been way more excited about it. But because they can still throw Tice out there and play Zion at the 5, it's a little bit trickier. But I'm with you. Hawkins got like a little Norm Powell in him where those shots are gonna get up.
Yeah, and he's got the itch too, because for at least last year, he was stuck behind 2 full-time shifts of a rotation in the Pelicans. He barely saw the floor. And now that he's getting the opportunity, it's like, oh, I'm getting shots up. He's got that Trey Man-itis.
Yes.
And that when you finally get your chance, that ball's going up.
Absolutely.
And between Jose Alvarado, Hawkins, without DeJounte, without CJ, that's a whole lot of usage available. Zion, of course, and BI, they're going to be, the crux of it. And, they should probably be in your lineups depending on the price and the impact.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for that ancillary opportunity, the supplementary pieces, Jordan Hawkins probably towards the top of my list tonight.
Yeah, me too. And not only that, they're playing the Pacers tonight, which, Pacers not really like defensive.
They're going to be running all night, many more possessions than the Pelicans are used to.
Yeah. And I mean, if I'm Rick Carlisle too, I mean, they do this regardless. Like no matter what, they're going to play this pace. But if they're like, oh, they're shorthanded and it's Zion, like I'm going to be running at Siakam. Let's go. We're sprinting up there. Yeah. I mentioned this a little bit earlier too. I know Miles Turner is questionable, but I do think a sneaky play tonight could be Isaiah Jackson if Turner gets ruled out because of the bigs they're running out there on the Pelican side of things. It'll be very easy for somebody, whoever the big is going to be for the Pacers, to gobble up 10 to 12 rebounds. We've seen it like
foul trouble. I mean, Zion's going to put you to the test physically. He's always putting his shoulder down, and he puts the pressure on the referee to make a decision. I mean, he's not out there just settling for 3-pointers because he really can't shoot them. He's going to the rim regardless of what type of defense you're running.
Right.
So if Miles Turner, 1, is already questionable, 2, if he gets 2 quick fouls, will he even come back into the game the same way the other night Andrew Nembhard came out after 5 minutes with that knee tendonitis and just never came back? There was Benedict Mathurin to pick up the pieces. Could Isaiah Jackson be that guy tonight? We know he fills up the box score with blocks and such. So,
and Mathurin's another good shout too, because I know Nembhard's still questionable heading into tonight, and he's another one that can like fill it up in a short amount of time.
Yeah,
in a short amount of time.
So, do we have any news on Cat?
Cat is warming up with the intent to play. So that sounds pretty good. It sounds like he's going to be good.
If we're looking for opportunity, that would have been it on either Jericho Sims. Trying to think where else. If Cat's playing, then this whole conversation doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Right. But I mean, that would have been the ultimate buy low spot on Jericho.
Yeah. Especially with like blowout potential too. There could be just like extended run in that game against Detroit. Although Detroit has been like kind of
they compete.
Competitive elves.
They're not good, but they compete. And if you have a team that competes, they very rarely get blown out because they always have their starters on the floor. And coming off that first victory, I don't see Detroit being nearly as like, let's laugh at them or let's just assume that they're going to be blowout minutes at the end of this game the same way we did last year. They got some talent there now. Just even Tobias and Tim Hardaway Jr. I mean, that is a significant upgrade compared to what they had last
professionals. And Cade's been great. Cade has been so good out the gate. I mean, they still are doing dumb things in the last 3 minutes of the game, but I think that's fine. The other situation too that I was monitoring, and I know they don't play tonight, but part of the game week on Sorare NBA, which by the way, if you guys are tuning in for the first time, you haven't checked out Sorare NBA, you can find a link right in the description to get started. Basically, instead of, you've played your daily fantasy where you're paying money to enter the contest, instead of doing that, you're buying your players and then entering the contest to win cash prizes. They also have a sick Emirates Cup contest that's dropping next week. So stay tuned or later this week. When does the Emirates Cup start this week? Is that Friday?
Yeah, the game's
next Tuesday.
Yeah, the opening round games start soon. I was just looking at the schedule, by the way, because I think I'm going to be in Vegas for when the semifinals are happening. There's like 8 days off if you're not one of the teams involved in the semis or the finals. Yeah, there's no games played. This was, I think, also the case last year, but there's going to be about 26 NBA teams that have a week off there in December.
Oh, wow. I remember last year they tried to filter in some games because I remember the Knicks ended up having to play like one extra road game at first, and then they switched it.
it would make sense that maybe those dates remain open depending on what happens
Yeah.
with the tournament. Because right now, if you look at NBA.com, it's
Just
just
blank.
blank all the way through. But they may be
That's
adding in those games depending on some of the results.
Yeah. And one more thing too, before we jump to the other situation that I wanted to bring up, just a reminder: new people were giving away some rare tier cards here over on Sorare NBA, in honor of our guy Embiid, yelling at people. Also, rightfully so. I probably would have yelled too. You got to just subscribe to the channel, put hashtag Embiid into the chat. That'll get you in there. But the other situation I want to talk about was the Utah Jazz, because just one of the grossest injuries in Taylor Hendricks. That was so disgusting. And
I still haven't seen it, and I'm
good.
proud of it. I refuse
Yeah.
to watch it.
No,
Yeah.
good. But now Lowry Markkinen has missed like the last game and a half with some back stuff, and Jordan Clarkson missed the second half of last night's game as well. Even though Will Hardy's doing everything he can not to play guys like Sexton more than 30 minutes, I feel like Utah might be in a situation where Sexton's going to have to play a little bit more. John Collins, Keontae George is going to take like 40 shots. But we even got introduced to Kyle Filipowski the other night too, where he finally got some run. I mean, any Utah takes, or just stay away?
I mean, someone has to play and someone has to score.
Right.
Someone's going to have 30% usage on this team. Who's that going to be?
Yeah.
It's got to be. It starts with Jordan Clarkson, at least in terms of. But if you're looking for buy low opportunity, when is Cody Williams going to be unleashed? Because they're already in capture the flag mode.
Yeah, they are. And so that was so funny when Hendricks goes down. I thought for sure John Collins was the next man up, would go into the starting lineup. And then they started Cody Williams instead, and I couldn't believe it. And then when Lowry got hurt, I was like, well, I'm sure John Collins played 35 minutes, 23 minutes. So they are doing everything they can to make sure that they stay in flag contention.
Keontae George led the team last night in field goal attempts with only 14.
That's crazy.
He played 30 minutes. That's it.
Crazy.
Led the team. So after that, it's Filipowski, Kessler, Clarkson, and Cody Williams. And then Collins, obviously, and Sexton off the bench, but they're only running 27 and 24. So Can you correctly predict the time when the Jazz say, fuck it, let's just send Cody out there for 35 a night as opposed to 23? Because then you're going to want to have him in your lineups, right? Before that salary cap number goes through the roof. I don't know.
When is that?
I think it's too early.
Yeah, it's probably like a fool. Honestly, trying to peg anybody in the Utah Jazz rotation right now is probably a fool's errand, because I can't figure it out. I would have thought, like, if Clarkson does miss this game again, he missed the second half, like Sexton with a cap of 29. Like, I feel like he's got to have to play a little bit more, but they have found ways not to do it. Bryce Sensabaugh getting dusted off and thrown out there for like 18 to 20. They just have Will Hardy is just finding guys in his back pocket. He's like, here you go, man. You want to get some run? Get out here.
Man, I'm so biased because I do support Will Hardy.
I love Will
Ryan
Hardy.
Smith personally. Because I don't mean this as a humble brag, but I've had a personal relationship with those guys for a couple of years now, and they want the team to be good. I mean, first of all, they renamed it the Delta Center. They have this gargantuan sponsorship. They're developing the area. They have the hockey club there now as well. And there's all this hype around professional sports in Utah. They think they might get an MLB team in addition to this. So their fans are showing up and they're doing their part, but this team just stinks. And
he coaches the hell out of them. Like, they should be way worse than they are for the last 3 years or 2.5 years. They just continue to hang around because of, I think he's just a fantastic coach.
This is undoubtedly the worst roster, at least on paper, in the NBA. They may not have the worst record, but from a roster construction standpoint, without marketing out there, this team is not winning 20 games this season. It's rough, but someone's got to find minutes, and you figure for now it's going to be Sexton and it's going to be Collins putting up the points with Clarkson. But if you're betting long-term on Jazz plays, I think you got to go Cody Williams.
Yeah.
It's your first round pick. You know they're going to be invested in him for the next 7 years because that's the way the rookie max scale contracts work. They're going to want to see what they got from him right now with opportunity. and there is no Drake May situation here where you're sending him out with a bad
Right.
offensive line, sending him to his death. Like, no, just trot him out there with the guys and see if this works. You did
Yeah.
it with Deontay George last year. Why not with Cody Williams this year? So
Right. And even if it doesn't work, it's still working for you long term. Like it's still good for you long term if you're losing games. So it's okay. Our guy Polar Bear in the chat, we talked about him a little bit earlier. I can't believe this is what we're doing. But David Roddy for the Atlanta Hawks out there playing like 30 minutes last game. They got 2 games, I believe, this game weekend too. And Atlanta's without like DeAndre Hunter again. Still no Bogey. Krejci's out. I did not expect to be talking about David Roddy, but have you watched any of Atlanta? I feel like they've been like sneaky fun. I can't believe they dropped back-to-back games against the Wizards, but they've been they're at least like fun losses. I'm enjoying the losses.
first of all, we have spoken about how many teams thus far since I've come in here?
Yeah, at least
It's
a
the
handful.
Pelicans, the Jazz, and the Hawks.
Yeah,
Is this a true sicko stream?
this is a sicko. We said
Okay.
David
All right. As
Roddy
long
in
as
the
the
first-
audience is okay with sicko stream.
Yeah, I think
There
so.
are like the Celtics and the 5-0 Cavs and
Yeah.
the Knicks that you can easily bring in viewership with, but so far these are the teams.
You can
Your
get
question-
that anywhere. Where can you get David Roddy talk? You know?
No, that's okay. Well, you've got the audience, at least with me in that. So the answer is yes. I have been watching Hawks games. It's probably one of my biggest futures that I do have the Hawks season win total over, and I have them to make the playoffs at plus 180, maybe 175.
Right.
So I think they'll get in through the play-in tournament is my bet, is my realistic expectation. They've dropped a couple of games to the Wizards where they look completely outclassed, as if Bilal Coulibaly is the next Victor Wembanyama out there, which
That
he
is,
very well might be with that wingspan he has. But
I love Bilal
isn't it
Coulibaly
amazing,
so
by the way,
much.
what happens to players when they go play in FIBA for a summer in
Mhm.
Olympic style competition? They come back to the NBA like, I was thrown into the fire, and this is hardly embers now compared to the level of competition that he probably saw then. So
Yeah.
NBA is nothing for him. And I don't know how I got to the Wizards from the Hawks, but ultimately, I need to see a lineup of Trey, Jalen Johnson, Risa Shea, I guess Capella, and then DeAndre Hunter can't be trusted. Am I putting in David Roddy in these
Oh,
minutes?
God.
Like,
I think
that's the
so.
question with the Hawks moving forward, right?
Yeah, I think so. I also can we just we got Wendell Carter Jr. Was scratched for the Magic. I just see that come through the ticker, which means it is a double Wagner night. Double Wagner in the starting lineup for the Magic, who are rolling out Suggs, Anthony Black, KCP, Franz, and Mo.
Wait,
Which,
do I need to get into my props and see if there's some old numbers here? Because I'm about
yeah,
to do that
I
right
would, because I would imagine that like really limits their bigs, because there's no Goga in this game either. And I'm glad, yeah. Now we're pivoting from David Roddy to Gogo Batazzi talk.
now. Oh, good. I love a true sicko stream. All right, I'm in here now.
I was gonna say we
Scrolling.
might
So
be
go
looking at
ahead.
some Jonathan Isaac, right? He's gonna have to get some run at this point.
He's on a minutes restriction, is he not?
Is he still? Yeah, is he still on that one?
I mean, he's always banged up. There's not a chance he's playing more than 20 minutes or so, right?
So that means Mo Wagner's probably playing. If Isaac's still on a minute restriction, that means Mo's playing like against Allen and Mobley too.
Yeah, damn.
That is
They
not
got
ideal.
all my Wagner props are taken down. So, all right. Let's proceed. I tried to sneak that one in there.
Well,
but,
I know, but that is not an ideal matchup, I don't think, for so Mo Wagner, he's going to cap 15 over on Sorare. I mean, if he can stay out of foul trouble, he's going to be playing 30 plus minutes.
First of all, $25 is a steep price for Mo Wagner in the limited section of Sorare. Who thinks someone's going to buy that tonight?
I wonder if a bunch of them just went off the board. I wonder. Yeah. All right. So it was 15, 12, 16, 12, 12.
Okay.
Yeah. So
the demand for that seems a little high. Inflation's big right now, but it's not Mo Wagner big.
Also, the middle part, Mo Wagner, just straight out of like Jonathan Taylor Thomas TV show from 20 years ago, which is a reference that won't fall on anybody in the chat. But yeah, man, we had such high hopes for the Magic like this time last week, and this matchup against Cleveland would have been so fun, and now very, very disappointed. Very disappointed. I feel like Cleveland should have no problem just out muscling them tonight.
You would think. I mean, they're
Yeah.
5-0, and Uh, I'm trying to convince myself not to be a Cavs. I don't think sycophant is the correct term here because I spent some time with them during training camp
Mhm.
and I got to see behind the curtain. And that naturally, because you have that information, when they get good, you're like, well, I saw this, this, and this, and that's why they're here. But since I spoke with Donovan Mitchell and several players, unsolicited, they all said that first of all, since the business is taken care of for a lot of these guys,
Getting paid.
namely Donovan Mitchell is under contract. Kenny Atkinson is there under contract. Their core, which has been together for 3 seasons now, which is a long time in today's NBA,
Yeah.
they're experienced and they have chemistry. So now that the business is all done, the vibes have changed, is what they've continued to say. Like they're just having fun out there because there's no more looking over your shoulder if I'm going to get traded or, is Donovan coming back? Yes or no? And they know what they have in Evan Mobley is a basketball unicorn that's been unlocked by Kenny Atkinson almost instantly. He's starting him from the outside in. His usage is through the roof. His 3-point usage, I should say, his number of attempts is up. They want him on the ball, handling it. I mean, he's putting up some ludicrous box scores, and he's hardly playing 20, 25 minutes in some of these games for various reasons. So what happens when he's finally tapped in to do 40 plus? National TV game tonight against Orlando? You better believe that both of these teams know this is one of our very limited opportunities to showcase our squads to the world. So I would anticipate that the starters in this game see a small uptick in minutes. I'd say between 2 and 3, right? So if you're used to 33, 35, you're going to get 38 from Franz Wagner tonight. These games matter, and it's to the players and to the business of the franchise. And the Cavs being 5-0, want to pause the song.
Well,
Put it
and
that way.
if Cleveland's like looking around, I mean, they must smell some blood in the water too. You see, like New York's been fine. New York's fine, but like you see what's happening with Philly, and they don't have their guys ready. And you look around at the other competitors. Paolo just loses their guy. I mean, the Magic lose Paolo for a good stretch of time, and then Milwaukee, which is just speaking of Cleveland, they play tomorrow night as well against the Milwaukee Bucks. Fire up your Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland because Milwaukee has gone out of their way to get torched for a second consecutive season by other opposing backcourt guards. Because I know the second half of last year, Doc takes over. The defense got a little bit better. I don't know what's happening. I mean, that game last night against Memphis was just out of control. You just name the guy. LaRavia goes for a double-double. Scottie Pippen Jr. comes out, reminds Darvin Ham, hey, could have had me. And then John Morant throwing dimes from his ass. Like, just a insane performance. So Cleveland could have a pretty big statement weekend by taking down Orlando. I know thinned out a little bit, but then Milwaukee again. I think they have Milwaukee both Saturday and Monday.
It's a home and home.
Yeah.
It's a home and home. And listen, Milwaukee last night was eye-popping. And I've been around long enough that you don't want to put too much stock in an early season game because at some point you're going to be made to look like an idiot when they figure it out and turn things. But this particular instance, these were self-inflicted wounds. As I was watching every play of this game last night, they are late to every closeout, every rotation. Communication is off with switching and rotations. They're stepping into wide open threes. They're slow to the 50-50 balls. They refuse to run pick and roll with Dame and Giannis. Whenever Giannis is involved in a pick and roll, it's Brook Lopez. And Dame, it's not that Dame's not in pick and roll action. He's top 5 in the NBA right now. Coming into last night, is 12.3 possessions per game as a primary ball handler in the pick and roll. So they're just not using Giannis at all with it. And is it because Giannis doesn't want to set those screens, or they feel like they can use him elsewhere more effectively? And whatever the answer is, it is most certainly not working. Doc Rivers, well under 500 as a head coach on this team. The vibes are off. Talking about the Cavs vibes, it's the antithesis with Milwaukee right now. You have Giannis in these post-game press conferences saying, I don't know what our identity is. I don't know how to fix it. You got Doc Rivers saying, oh, we missed some open shots tonight. Well, guess what? It's 2024 NBA. Everyone has open shots, and everyone is going to have on and off nights. If you're just falling back on what we'll level out or the average next game, Well, guess what? The best team in the NBA is the Boston Celtics, and they make less than half of the threes that they take, and they're the most proficient at it. So you cannot fall back on just open shots will go in at some point when you give up bunnies to the other team because you don't get any rebounds.
If it was just open shots weren't going in, the conversation wouldn't be happening. That's happening today. You know, like it was so clearly more than that. They just look slow. And I mean, Memphis too, I feel like this wasn't talked about enough today. Desmond Bane, Marcus Smart, John Conchar all didn't play. You could just put together some names like a Jalen Huff, Jalen Wells, Jay Huff, Kyle. You don't even just throw names together. Those guys played 18 to 20 minutes for the Grizzlies last night, and it was not close. Like from start to finish, it was just dominant.
It was just the eye test revealed such a lackluster effort and energy that's something they can control, right?
Right.
You can come out and treat that game like it's game 7, and the result is the result. But at the very least, you could be leaving your blood, sweat, and tears on the floor. They're the opposite of it.
Right.
Okay. And I think opening night, Taurean Prince caught fire against Philadelphia, and he had a really nice, outside shooting performance. But the quality of the shots that they get also, how did you end up taking that attempt? Is it because Giannis was drive and kicking? Was it from a pick and roll? Or are you getting these threes up because there's only 3 seconds left on the shot clock and you have no other choice? And you watch a game like last night and Giannis is barreling himself towards the rim. He had an efficient box score, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But if you're reliant on him beating 4 guys off the dribble and finishing at the rim while 4 other dudes stand outside the 3-point line waiting for a kick out, you are not the Boston Celtics. So stop trying to do that. You need to get Giannis involved in the pick and roll action with Damian Lillard in this whole Brook Lopez pick and pop, pick and roll thing.
No.
Even if it's inverted and you had, let's say, Giannis on the ball with Damian Lillard setting the screen, I get my 2 best players involved in action.
Yeah.
Okay. Antonio told the story earlier today on the show. He goes, we ran pick and roll with David Robinson and Tim Duncan together in 1999. You know why we did it? Because nobody could stop it. And they were the 2 best players on the floor every night. So we just did it over and over again, even though it didn't make sense in a vacuum that your power forward and a center are involved in the pick and roll. Right. So why are we not even approaching this to have the conversation on if this works when you don't give us the opportunity?
And we're year 2. It's year 2. It's like, it's not like this is November of last year. We're like, oh, just give it time. Like, let them figure it out. Like you had time and you're running out of time because like all of a sudden everybody's got a leaked report of like, well, he could force his way out of here any day now.
This team's in trouble because you would figure, well, they'll start making their shots and they'll turn up the intensity. Okay. Let's say that happens. Well, you know what they can't fix is they're hard capped right now. Mm-hmm. They are in apron territory, which restricts their mobility and optionality in acquiring new talent. And just yesterday, they announced they will not be picking up the option on Marjan Beauchamp, which in a vacuum, that's like, oh, who cares? Who gives a shit about the 23rd overall pick a couple years ago? Well, now he's headed to unrestricted free agency, which means 1, you're essentially punting on this pick didn't work out. All right. He's not playing well enough for you guys to retain. Number 2, you are not the Denver Nuggets who are having their own problems in that you have Christian Brown, Julian Strawther, and Zeke Naji. Who else is off that bench? Peyton Watson. You don't have young guys other than Andre Jackson Jr., who's probably the one I would recommend buying on Sorare as a guy that's about to see some more opportunity because Beauchamp's minutes are probably going out the window. Mm-hmm. Who's going to pick up those 5 to 10 every night? Hopefully it's Andre Jackson Jr.
It's got to be.
But what you're saying is this pick didn't work out. You don't have any young core to develop and replace Gary Trent Jr., to replace Brook Lopez, to replace Taurean Prince and all of these expiring contracts at the end of the year. Right? You're going to be stuck with Dame, Giannis making a ton of money. And then what? You're at the mercy of convincing everyone in unrestricted free agency to come your way. And you see that little bar next to the left of the 7, that little green, it's poking its head out. Okay. It's yellowish. I mean, that's the last, 5 games played. That's only going up.
It is.
As the Bucks try and find minutes from someone off that bench. They are the thinnest team in the league by far. They get Pat Connaughton, they get Bobby Portis, and that's it. until Chris Middleton comes back.
And they just
good
like,
luck.
no disrespect to Torian Prince, but they need to inject some sort of just excitement, some athleticism, some speed into it. And it's not coming from Torian Prince. So I'm with you. I think Andre Jackson Jr. like slowly is going to start. Yeah. From the Beauchamp minutes, cause that experiment's done, but I also think you could start seeing some of what we were seeing from Torian Prince. I wanted to shout out one more guy, but mainly just to get a full reaction of this. So we know Big Al's not playing tonight for the Celtics against the Hornets. And we went full Luke Cornett here.
Wow.
Full Luke Cornett for the Luke Cornett
How deep
experience.
into the internet did you have to dig to find that shirt?
I had just somebody I followed was like, I put this together. And I was like, let's go. That's all it took. That's all it took for me.
He's very funny.
Oh,
And it helps that he's like the perfect Boston Celtics backup big.
Yes.
He's very self-aware, and he just does Luke Cornett things like the Cornett contest.
It's
and
so
then he
good.
brings out the Mutombo finger wag after the most basic blocks. It's funny.
Him doing like a big celebration after knocking down his first free throw will be forever one of my favorite things. Do you
so no
ahead.
Al Horford tonight, and obviously no Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, what type of minutes projection are we talking about with Cornett here?
So I mean, they experienced with the Pacers game where they had that like frantic comeback. It was the Portuguese sensation, Kita, coming off the bench. He was the one that took like a lot of those big minutes. So I wonder if they use him a little bit more. But I mean, it's going to be just some sort of mix between Cornett, Tillman, and Kita. And the Celtics also have a back-to-back. They play tonight against Charlotte and then tomorrow against Charlotte. So I almost kind of think Kita is probably the direction that people should look. I think he's a little bit cheaper too, and he's everyone immediately goes to the Cornett or Tillman, and so I think you can. Can I just sort by most recent year? Whatever. Let's see the most recent points here. He dropped 17 in that game against the Pacers, which was mostly in the second half. And Charlotte, like we love our guy Nick Richards. I don't think it's for defensive purposes. So bigs against Charlotte can eat a little bit. So if you get this one right, and maybe Charlotte keeps it close. Like in one of these two games, I think that could be a good fantasy. We got like a couple of these like really good spots between Boston and Charlotte, and then Atlanta and Sacramento too. I think will be a fun fantasy outing.
Yeah, listen, the totals in these games matter too. So Kings Hawks, without even looking at the over under, my guess is it's going to be about 230. It's 236 and a half. Okay. Yeah, big boy. 232 and a half in New Orleans, despite all of those players being out, because the Pacers will run the floor regardless of who's out there. Biggest totals on the board tonight.
Yeah, I like the Atlanta Sacramento one. I think is pretty fun because even if Sacramento is the better team there, I don't think they're running away from anybody. I think Atlanta's talented enough that they can keep it close. And I wish, man, my goal for like before Christmas, can Atlanta just let Onyeka Okongwu be the guy? Can he just be the guy? Can we stop doing the Clint Capella thing or find a home for Clint? I love Okongwu. I want him to just let him.
He's
let
a better
him run.
player for sure.
Yeah.
I think they're just so in love with that possibility of Trey throwing lobs to Capella every single time. Yeah, because that's what he does. He puts the pressure on the rim, but he can't do anything else. So the memory of that season they had when they made the conference finals, where it was just alley-oop over and over again. The same way that Jokic hits Gordon off the dunker spot, it was just always Trae Young to Capella, and they do it till the paper cuts, death by paper cuts with them. But I don't think Capella's versatility has this type of shelf life, and he hasn't made the same impact.
No, and I don't think they're making him worse by playing Okongwu a little bit more. So we'll see. And then go ahead.
I was going to say, since we're doing random player, I made an impulse purchase last night. Can you pull up my account and see the card that I bought?
Let's go. Worldwide Wob, right?
Yeah. This was a prisoner of the moment purchase for me.
Here we go. Josh Green?
Well, that one too, but also Ivica Zubac.
Oh, dude, I'm all in, man. We bought it. I'm trying to get We Bought a Zubac going. I want to like we bought a Zubac. Well, you actually did one, but the we bought a zoo movie. It's now that I've had to explain it this long. I know it's not going to catch fire, but I'm here for
Nothing
it.
better than a joke you have to explain.
Multiple times. Yeah,
Okay.
dude,
Can
Zubac
we
has
do
been
some
awesome.
box scores with Zubats here?
Yeah, he's been
22
insane.
points, 12 rebounds last night. 23 points, 18 rebounds, 6 assists against Golden State. 24 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists against at Denver. 21 points, 9 rebounds against Phoenix, and a game against Portland. He was 6-12. But more importantly, compared to last year, every single one of these games minutes north of 30.
Yeah, and they
Last
would
year,
never
it
do
was
that.
mid-20s max. He would come out at the 6-minute mark in the first quarter, not come back in until the
Right.
6-minute mark in the second quarter. I think that was because of Mason Plumlee or
Yeah, well,
whoever they had backing him up, but he's
yeah,
getting the minutes now.
I was gonna say that, and I think that's my biggest discovery this year is I didn't put enough respect on Plum Dog's name because we're now seeing it happen in Phoenix where Yusuf Nurkic is just getting nerfed. Like we're seeing way more Plumlee than we are Nurkic in Phoenix, and he's just straight up out playing him. Like I think Phoenix is like one big away from being like. I mean, they're already contending right
They
now.
do.
But
They need to dump Nurkic. If they
Yeah.
found a way to, because Plumlee's the perfect backup. But if you put someone like Miles Turner on the Phoenix
Oh.
Suns, they're probably the favorites in the West.
Yeah, I'm
Because
with you.
they found the chemistry now. They added, by the way, their 2 point guards in Tyus Jones and Monte Morris have the best assist to turnover ratio in like the last decade. The two of them are on the same team.
Yeah.
So there's no more Josh Okogie, Sabian Lee, Goodwin,
No,
all of these guys.
Jordan Goodwin.
Yeah, come on, man. You
Jordan
can't be
Goodwin.
setting the table for Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker with those guys. And now they have true floor generals that last night, like when that game started to get close and the comeback was beginning in the third quarter, they were just setting the table and putting KD ball in his hands 12 feet away from the rim. Devin Booker, putting him in a position to get downhill and pull up like he loves to do. That was not the case last year. They had to figure it out all themselves. So everyone's efficiency on the Suns is through the roof.
Oh, and it
because
just
of
seems
those 2 guys.
Yeah, they're like you said, the floor generalness of it all. They just seem in control, like well orchestrated. I think Coach Bud is like perfect for what they were doing. That was a fun bet I threw in at the beginning, like right before the season started, was the Suns to finish number 1 in the West, which I still think OKC is going to be like, but their odds were just insane for Phoenix.
I have them 28-1 to win the title.
That's great.
And that number is long gone now.
Yeah, no, they look awesome. But I'm with you on Zubac, man. And Zubac and Harden have just been absolutely eating. Norm Powell's been great too, and they've already been more competitive than I thought they were going to be. Like I again did not give enough credit to what Ty Lue can do as a head coach. I just thought the West was going to eat them up, and this still very well could happen, right? They won a couple surprising games, and they dropped a game to Portland, which will happen, but it's still Portland, and so we'll have to see. Yeah, tell Weisberg said he wants me to tell you about the Giddy bet this morning. So I'm over on Underdog. They had a Giddy's triple double at 17x for their like spicy pepper. So I threw a Giddy and I think it was Cade Cunningham over 21 points tonight. Again, like probably not going to happen, but 17x for
listen, Giddy back to the true point position. And this team has a little bit of mojo. They've had 2 straight 20-point comebacks for the first time in franchise history in more than 20 years. So maybe I still think they're not good, but as of this moment, they believe. And Giddy back to his true point position. Because I can think of 2 seasons ago when Shea was hurt a lot and OKC stumbled into the 10 seed. And I know Presti was pulling his hair out because he didn't want to make the playoffs. So he gets his lottery pick. But they were still so good because Josh Giddey moved to the true point position. And when he's on the ball initiating offense, like he's not the catch and shoot that he was having to play alongside Shea. That fit was never going to work because if Shea's an MVP candidate, he's going to be on the ball. But Josh Giddey in Chicago, especially without Lonzo Ball in and out of the lineup, like this dude is setting up Kobe White. It's a perfect mesh with him and Levine that he can set them up. His passing has been back on full display. He's going to fill up the box score as a result.
Yeah, and he along with the Pelicans that we mentioned earlier, he's one of the better Sorare NBA players where he's going to cap a 17. I think projects for like low 30s, but I think he's had back-to-back 40-point performances. Like he looks good. I think that offense is figuring it out a little bit. Levine, I believe, ruled in too. I think we saw that Let me actually just refresh because I think we're approaching lock here soon, right? I think there's lock at 7 tonight. So Miles Turner, there we go, expected to play. Nembhard ruled out. So I think Miles Turner, like sneaky again. I think that's going to be a fast-paced game with a lot of fantasy points. Don't hate the idea of going towards Miles
And
Turner.
on Sorare tonight, isn't it? Blocks are worth double. Blocks and
Yeah, for the
blocks
daily
and
game.
board. I mean,
Yeah,
he's going to get plenty of them. I wish Miles Turner, if I'm a Pacers fan, I'm screaming at him the same way that Minnesota was screaming at Karl Anthony Towns. Like, you are the
Right.
biggest guy on the floor. You're extremely talented. Why are you settling for threes? And then you saw the Bodega Cat get unleashed
Just
in Miami
unreal, man.
2 nights ago, and you're like, holy shit! If this
Dude.
guy it plays like with that aggressiveness, I mean, there's no one on this planet other than your Embiids of the world,
Yeah.
with the size to be able to combat that.
That's what I'm saying.
You need
Like,
it consistently out of him. So we'll see tonight if that version of Cat, or is it the one who pulls up from 30?
Cat is in a great. That was the best, honestly. That was like the pinnacle of Cat that you can get, where he did it down low, he did it outside, and he did it against Bam. I mean, that was not a nothing
Mouse
defender,
in the
right?
house for
Yeah.
the cat, for the kitty cat loves a little mouse in the house.
It was.
And if was it 44 points, and I think he only attempted 4 threes without looking
Yeah.
at the box score, which meant 20 of his shots were inside the arc. When was the last time you could say that about Karl Anthony Towns?
No,
So
literally anybody. When's the last time you say that about anybody in the
yeah,
league right
on
now?
today's
Everybody's-
game.
Yeah. All right. As we approach lock here, remind the people here we've got a giveaway. We got a rare tier card that we're giving away to one of our people that are watching over on the YouTube. So if you're on Twitter, listen, I love that you're there and I appreciate that. And thank you, Rob, for sharing it. But if you are, why can't I find it? Here we go. But if you want to qualify for the rare tier card and get yourself started, do that. Also, we have a live after dark show where we do a little for our members, for our YouTube members, where we shoot the shit and give away, more stuff till I run out of stuff. So come hang out for that. If you haven't signed up for that, I'll drop a link to that in the chat as well. But yeah, dude, I'm so thankful that you wanted to jump on and do this again. It's way more fun having somebody else on this show than me just like rapid fire answering questions and talking through the slate. So appreciate
It's
it.
hard
Man.
talking to yourself, man.
Yeah.
Now listen, I do post-game radio, a solo show for 2 hours where there's no visual element for people to engage with. Because if
That's-
you're doing video, there's times where you can stop talking and
Right.
people can see you. So there's not that awkward dead air. But when it's audio only,
Yeah.
you notice how I stopped talking for
That's
about half a second. If you go more than 2 seconds, the alert in the command center at like Sirius XM or any radio channel will go off.
Oh,
And then
really?
there's dead air. Yeah. And then like people start panicking. They're like, what happened? Did his internet connection go out? You have a second to collect your thoughts.
You can't even
So
take a
doing
sip of
solo
water.
shows is difficult.
Yeah, you can't even take a sip of water. You take a drink.
That's what commercials are for.
Yeah. No, the intensity of the solo show is really fun for like 45 minutes. But it's got a shelf life, and then I can feel myself slowly slipping into madness. But yeah, excited for tonight's slate. Do you have now that we're approaching lock, was there any prop or situation you attacked aggressively today?
No, I'm the type of bettor, and my so rare purchases are based on CLV. So in the case of a Wendell Carter Jr.,
Yeah.
at the very last second is not available, I'm thinking like you did, Mo Wagner.
Right.
Like, can I get in on the props? What are his prices on Sorare? What's his salary cap price? So I'm not particularly like someone who does projections, and this guy should eat tonight. I'm always just laying in the weeds, lurking, waiting for that big one to drop.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of opportunities. I think opening night, the Pelicans announced that Zion was going to be on a minutes restriction, or he missed opening night.
He missed opening night. It was like a late scratch with the flu. Or
I was all the way in. I couldn't get.
And Ingram went nuts.
cent
Ingram went nuts in that
on
game.
Ingram and CJ, and they covered in 2.5 quarters. All the props, not just points, all of them. That was like cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah.
So I'm always waiting for. That's why you do shows like this too, because it's 3:58 Pacific time here. And there could be some news that just drops in the next 7 minutes that changes the entire complexion of the game. So you need to be around communities that are sharing all of that info, because we're all on the same team trying to beat the house.
Yeah.
Right? Unless you're playing against each other on Sorare, Even
it's still
then,
more-
you're still
it-
sharing it. Yeah, you're still sharing info, and market prices matter too. So
Yeah.
it's meant to be a communal discussion.
And what's fun about the community-based aspect of this stuff too is like when somebody, if my lineup tanks this week because Halliburton doesn't show up or whatever, it's still fun if somebody else in the community takes a W. Like if it's fun seeing other people get theirs as well. So
Absolutely.
everybody gets a turn. Everybody gets a turn. All right, we'll wrap this here. I'll let you stay for the giveaway though. I won't kick you out before the giveaway. We'll see who's taking home rare tier card. If you win this one, just shoot me a DM, whether it's in the Discord. I'll drop a link to that, or on Twitter at Mike Zakarian. Let's see who it's going to. Coach, yes, so rare. Good to know. Based on that name alone, he is not new to So Rare, so
Rigged.
he will already have a wall.
Is this a so rare? Is this a so rare employee that
right?
giving
Is
out
John?
the prizes to?
Is
Rigged.
John or Alex? We're gonna make him show ID. Congrats to Coach Yes So Rare, big W. Yeah, just send me a message over there. And then Rob, thanks for doing this, man. So we'll see you next Friday, I think, right? We cooking every
let's do it.
Friday for the time
There's
being.
always something to talk about if there's some major issues throughout the week.
Yeah.
I always need an outlet to do some pre-lock discourse, because this is usually when all the alerts, I turn them all on my phone.
Here we go.
And then you're standing
Ding,
by
ding.
with your fingers ready to buy and or book action.
Yeah, to go get
And
your Mo Wagner's.
No better sport when it comes to volatility of markets than this. And if you're a trader, you always want volatility.
Yeah.
Right. Baseball, NFL, there's ways to attack that. But if you're paying attention, NBA by far number one sport, regular season.
That's what I think is so fun about this too. Like you with the Al Horford situation being out tonight. I mean, you can absolutely speculate forward the way that Missoula has handled the Celtics, that like a Derek White or a Drew Holiday or a Tatum or a Brown, like I'm sure one of them sits tomorrow as well. And so like you can really do some forecasting there where you're like, or if Al plays tomorrow, like he doesn't play tonight, but he plays tomorrow, and you're like, well, I guess I could get away with playing Cornette and Al Horford in the same lineup or whatever. Like there's fun ways to forecast with basketball more than the other ones, just because there's so much action to it all. But we'll call it there. Hope everybody has a good weekend. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you, So Rare, for setting this up and sponsoring the show, and for Rob for jumping on. Let us know what your W's are, and we'll see you guys on Monday. We're out of here.
Go Josh Green.
Go Josh Green.